don't know. If you don't know Dr. Sebi, just pretend you do know him and then quickly Google him and find out about this brother, man. Because Dr. Sebi, who passed away, I say the word pass away. I personally believe he was taken out. He was murdered because of the information that he had, the wisdom that he had. The man who cured AIDS, arthritis, cancers, leukemia, herpes, sickle. I mean, they tried to take this man to court, or not try. They took this man to court because of his the claims. They took him to court, the highest court. He beat their backside, coming and going, proved to them in the court of law in US that all what I've proclaimed is truth, and you cannot deny one iota of what I've done. And you know what? He beat them and he won the court case. And after that, brothers and sisters, his life was taken out. But guess what? Tonight, brothers and sisters, tonight, brothers and sisters, I have got Dr. Sebi's #1 disciple, all the way from the Bahamas. I'm praying that the internet is good tonight and that there's going to be no trouble on the internet tonight, because I've got Dr. Jamaal online. Dr. Jamaal, are you with us? Oh, let me just make sure my brother is with us. Dr. Jamaal.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Let me stop
Greetings.
Now.
Greetings. Hello.
Oh, can we see your shiny face, brother? Can we see your shiny face?
Okay, hold on. Let me. Greetings.
Yes, my king.
Yes.
How are you doing, brother?
Everything is great. It's a pleasure and honor to be here once more. And my big elder brother, Dr. Mark Walcott, it's definitely an honor to the platform with him. And big brother, thank you, my brother, for affording us the opportunity to present to the people.
Fantastic. Brother, last time you was on our platform, you know what you done, brother. You know what you done. And so
yes.
I'll say to Brother Morris, if I didn't bring you back on, I need full-time security around me. You know what I'm saying? man would do me damage, brother. Man ain't playing. Man ain't playing, brother. So listen, brother. Let me keep myself quiet right now. And for the next 20 minutes, brother, please educate us into the original self of who we should be. And you can take it anywhere you want to take it right now, King, because so many people want to hear from you, brother. So many people. It's all yours.
Yes.
King.
Well, again, thank you, my fellow listeners and my brothers and sisters. Wherever you may be tuning in an internet line, I want to say how absolutely grateful I am to be here today to present once more Brother Muhammad. I want to again say thank you. And I just was really impressed on the wonderful work that Andrew, I see you are highlighting one of my amazing premise, which is, to promote self-governance, self-sustenance, providing for oneself. I think one of the biggest mistakes is we've been dependent on somebody else to feed us. Our oppressor been feeding us, turn it down. Our oppressor been feeding us food, and in my arena, dealing with herbology and nutrition.
Dr. Jamaal, forgive me, King. Please forgive me.
Yes.
Brothers and sisters, if you've got any questions for our brother, I see so many comments are going down. If you've got any questions based on today's presentation, please use the Q&A box. Please, Sister Jurita's with us. She's keeping an eye on the Q&A box, and she's keeping an eye on the main box, but it's easier for her if she sees any questions for Dr. Jamaal. Please put it in the Q&A box. Doctor, forgive me. Carry on, King.
Yeah, so in my arena, it's like one step forward, two step backward. And it's oftentimes through ignorance and through disposition, we are in when we see our people, most are disenfranchised because of inherited poverty, meaning we don't own the land to grow, the farm, to present ourselves in a position of strong foundation where we can feed our people. And this is what Marcus Garvey heralded. He spoke about being self-sufficient. He said, we are a race of consumers. So my premise, what we've been doing is we've been engaging those farmers, engaging those persons who are like-minded. And so it's refreshing to hear my brother, and you highlight those that are promoting growing food for our people. That's so very important, as it plays a role in what Dr. Sadie always says: let your food be your medicine. Let the food become part of your lifestyle, the right food. And so if our oppressor feeds us, as Black people, mostly, we don't own the food store. And if we do own a food store, it's a retail store. And that retail store gets its products or its merchandise, its inventory from the wholesaler. And the wholesaler is often the oppressor. And he's not going to have our interests at heart. So it's going to undermine the position of healing. And so at New Life Natural, of which I'm the CEO and founder, what we've done was we've engaged farmers in Central America, Jamaica, Haiti, the Caribbean, right here in the Bahamas. And these are gatherers that we pay every month to gather herbs and ship it to us. We manufacture all of our products. We manufacture and we prepare all of our tincture, all of our products. We engage those that does the same. And we have a restaurant. We have 2 restaurants. And we also engage the wild gatherers that forage the wild callaloo, the wild spinach, the guinea hen weed, which a Jamaican scientist has found the cure for cancer using the guinea hen weed, otherwise known as anamu. And so this anamu is what Dr. Sebi used to cure his first breast cancer patient. And I see in Jamaica, they are making strides in that. The Jamaican scientists actually made some serious patent using the guinea hen weed. And so we now have to be careful, because what I'm seeing is a lot of herbalists or herbal store, they are operating in a questionable manner, where they are now utilizing the herbs at subpar, substandard, and it seems as if they are doing it more for monetary means, as opposed to assisting people are doing it to help the people. And this is where we now have to raise the bar. And I'm glad that Dr. Mark, who's in London, he invited me in 2016 to London, and he and I are finding innovative ways that we can get these raw indigenous herbs to London and find a way that we can coordinate our efforts and network and try to bridge the gap and bring healing to London and Europe and throughout the Caribbean. Now, with that said, Dr. Mark is doing an excellent job in London, and he and I are doing a lot of good stuff. He's been to the Bahamas twice, and he and I are continuing our dialogue. It's a mammoth of a task, but we are up to the task. And I must say also that if you look at our ancestors who came across the diaspora in the transatlantic trade, slave trade, where I'm myself being a Bahamian, Dr. Mark being a Jamaican, we were transported, our ancestors, from Africa to the Caribbean in slave ships. Our ancestors brought with them a thorough, in-depth knowledge of herbology, their medicine, and their knowledge with them. And so this knowledge was supplanted deep-rooted in these different various countries in the Caribbean, and is empirically through the generations. And I dare say that a lot of that information has been lost. And a lot of the persons with that information, I'm talking about the elders, have died, unfortunately, with those knowledge, wealth of knowledge. And so we have to now, those few elders that are left, we have to now fix ourselves near them and try to get the information from them so that we don't lose all of this generation of information from our ancestors. And that's what we are trying to do. We are trying to, because it's not just of what herbs to take, it's about methodology, it's about technique. How do you prepare a tincture or decoction, an infusion, what herbs combination to use, what season to use it, what time of the day to pick the herbs, because that's important. It may sound superficial, but if you pick, for instance, the sensitivia, which they call it not, when you touch it, it closes down, touch it, it closes down. When you pick that plant in the evening, it's not gonna supply you with the nutrition and the healing properties as if you pick it in the morning. So certain plants, you have to know when to pick it to get the benefits from it to cure you. Because you can say, I take this plant and I didn't get any results, but I took that plant from this person and I got more results. This is sacred knowledge, sacred information that we used to know. And now we have
brother.
Yeah.
Are you saying literally? I mean, brother, you've just blown my mind. It's not just about taking the plant. There's literally a precise science as to when to pick the plant.
That's correct. That's very correct. Because you see the plant, and last week we talked about season, eating out of season, because plants carry vibration. Plants are living entity and organisms and intelligent. They supply us with oxygen, life force. Without, we can't live. So those who says they don't believe in plants, there's not enough information scientifically to quantify or to solidify that plant sustains life, or plant is important for the sustenance of life. Those people don't know what they're saying, because without plants we cannot live. Plants supply us with oxygen. The most important thing is that you can go a week without food or more, a couple of days without water, but you can't go a few minutes without oxygen, and that comes from plants. And the marine phytoplankton supplies oxygen, second to the rainforest. So we need to get acquainted. I know my time is limited, but we need to get acquainted with the plants in our environment. That's why it's so refreshing to see the brother growing those vegetables. We need to have a patch of grass where we can grow a garden. Because if we dependent on somebody else to feed us, you can imagine being the head of your family. You're the head of your family as the man of the house, and you can't even feed your own family. You have to go to somebody else to supply you with the most important substance on earth, food. And you don't even know the source of that food. You don't even know how to survive, but yet you are feeding your family something that the oppressor gave you. And the same thing with the herbs. Dr. Sebi talked about in one of his lectures, going to a store and somebody giving him foxglove, but he wanted bugleweed, and he told the person that's not bugleweed, and he knew. So persons who was selling in the herbal store the bugleweed learned bugleweed from a book. And brothers and sisters, I had the privilege, honor, 3 years with Dr. Sebi, and I would spend I was from the Bahamas for 3 years in and out of Honduras, and Dr. Sebi took me to the mountains. And I can say that it was so amazing and refreshing to learn about plants, not just from armchair or theoretical, but from a practical perspective. I went to Mexico, and it really correlates with what I learned in my island, because when I was 11 years old, I was able to identify every single plant in my environment. And that's how it should be. That's how the animals are. As an adult man or woman, you should be able to identify every single plant surrounding by the time you're a teenager. And you should be able to know what are the benefits of these plants. What part of my body are they going to do? Because if you get sick, you're supposed to know what plant is going to do what to you. When should you take it? And it's the same thing with the food. But we are at this position because we don't know what to eat, when to eat, and how to eat. We just simply don't know. And when we do know, we are subjected to go into the oppressor food store to purchase the food. We don't know if it's organic. We don't know if it's genetically modified, fortified with fertilizers and cancer or carcinogen-causing substance. We just don't know. And so the solution is the process of engaging those with a yard, engaging those with a farm, engaging those family members in the islands in the Caribbean that has a farm, that own some form of natural source of food. Our brothers and sisters that we trust, because it cannot be where every payday we spend our paycheck in the food store buying and supplying our cupboards, our family with food that has been supported and imported by other means that we just do not know. I think we are past that stage. We should not be in a state right now, 2021 going on 20, where we do not know the source of our food. We do not know the supply of our food. That's the most important substance to life, and we don't know where we are getting it from. And that's really, really shocking. And I think Marcus Garvey would turn over in his grave if he know that today in modern society, that the black people mostly are ignorant to nutrition. And for those that are nutritionists, those that are the academia in our community has absolutely no to little knowledge on the source of food, where the food are coming from. And so we need to intensify our efforts into growing, finding means of engaging those that do not live in the concrete jungles, because you have a situation where brothers and sisters would like to eat healthy, but they live in a city where they live in a high-rise flat where they don't even have a garden. There's only a parking lot. So how can you tell someone that lives in a 10-story flat with parking lot, no grass, no vegetation, to eat organic food? He is subjected and used to trusting the oppressor to feed him and his family. And that is a dangerous position to be in. And so we need in the process.
Sorry, I'm going to just quickly cut you there. So sorry. Good evening, everyone. I just have a couple of questions, because actually what you've said is in line with what a few people have asked now. So I guess one of the questions was what can we do now? And I guess you've already explained that just now in terms of what can we do in order to move forward. But another question I have from Lady Smudge, she calls herself. She says that she would like you to recommend some books or some resources for planting her own vegetables and herbal medicine garden. She says she's moving to the Caribbean, lucky you.
Yes.
And she wants to be self-sufficient and escape the city, but she has no idea where to start. So what could you recommend, sir, please?
Yes, you can, I don't know if anyone in this chat heard of Dr. Africa. He have a book called Nutricide. That's an amazing book. To actually give you an example of how we are killing ourselves through the wrong food, what have you. And you have a number of gardening books, but a lot of those books, again, are some of the problem. We need to begin to think different, not to bring a plant out of an environment, to bring it to our environment. Because if you do that, you're undermining what you are trying to do in terms of healing. You need to identify those wild plants, those indigenous plants, find those plants that are conducive to the environment that you are in, and learn to grow those plants. Because if I give you a book to read, the book is only going to show you plants that perhaps is in California, or plants or shrubs that grows in a different country. So if you're in Jamaica, there's things like the wild callaloo, you have wild dandelion, there's a lot of plants that grows in your environment. And you know the best of these things? Those elders that lives in the community. Because there were scientists that came to the Bahamas, engage all of the herbal, what we call bush medicine people, that 70, 80, 90-year-old, and they interview those people, and they ask those people, what do you guys recommend for the flu? What do you recommend for food? And they were, they got the knowledge from those elders in the community. So the elders in the community, they are the ones that have the knowledge on what to plant, what season to grow those crops.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you so much. I'll put that book title in the chat shortly for those people who are asking for it. The other questions I've got a lot of questions here about different types of food and why they are good or not so good to eat. So I've had a couple of questions about tomatoes, whether they're very good, and garlic. I don't know if you've got anything that you'd like to say.
Yes. Okay, so let's start with the tomatoes. For those of you that lives in the Caribbean, there's a tomato that's small, look like a little grape. It's called tomato, and it grows wild. It's prolific. It's like a weed, but that is medicine. It's food, but it's medicine. That is the tomato that you eat, not the one in the food store that is genetically altered. So the wild tomatoes, for those of you that lives on the island, you should be familiar with the wild tomatoes. For all of my island people, you should be familiar with wild tomatoes. Now also the garlic, we don't recommend garlic because garlic is very acidic, and garlic is a man-made product, and it's detrimental to the cells. Now there is a wild counterpart to garlic because every plant has a progenitor or a parent. So you heard me mention the guinea hen weed. Actually, guinea hen weed is also known as wild garlic, and it has a similar pungent flavor that you can actually use that to flavor your food and give it that same pungent type of flavor. You can use that, and you can use the ginger. But we don't recommend the garlic.
Could you just repeat the name of that tomato? You broke up just as you said it, and I don't think everyone got it.
Okay, it's some people call it tomato. It's a plum tomato, some people call it. It's small. It's really, really small. It's almost like the size of a sea grape. Some of them are bigger than the sea grapes. Some of them are the size of a grape.
Wow.
And they grow wild in Jamaica, in the Bahamas, in Haiti, throughout the Caribbean. They're like a shrub, like weeds. But when you bite, you put one into your mouth, you bite it, it explodes. The aroma, the taste, the potency explodes, as opposed to those tomatoes in the food, no flavor, no smell, no aroma.
Thank you. And a couple of other questions. I don't know exactly how much time. How much time have I got, Uncle? He's gone. So
I'm here, sister. I'm here. Yeah, you can ask 1 or 2 more questions. I'm loving it.
Wonderful. I thought you'd gone. I was about to say,
no, I'm here, sister.
Nice. This is good. We've got a couple of questions about what you would recommend for some ailments. So the key ones at the moment I've got are thyroid. How would you cure or reverse an overactive thyroid? High blood pressure, arthritis, and maybe even gout.
Okay, let's start with the latter, gout. Gout is caused by uric acid, accumulation of uric acid, and that is from eating too much shell foods, i.e. lobster, conch, shrimp. Those things are they're scavengers of the ocean, and they're loaded with fluoride. It's like eating toothpaste. So you can eliminate those stuff. They build up uric acid. Also red meat. Also certain starch, food high in starch, such as cassava, sweet potato, aggravate and antagonize your gout situation. So those are the things I would recommend you do a detox. You can go on our website, www.newlifebahamas.com, and you can get the healing tonic and the chelation, and it relate all of the gout, uric acid of the system. Also for fibroids, we recommend that you eliminate chewing gum, because chewing gum also found that filling, like the amalgam dental fillings, is linked. We also find that hair relaxers, certain perm women in particular use, is linked to fibroids. And also we find that anything that has aspartame, chewing gum, sugarless gum, and the diet sodas, those has aspartame, and aspartame is an artificial sweetener, and acefoam K is an artificial sweetener that causes fibroids, especially in Black men. Also, us as Black men, we contribute to fibroids. Abusing our body, using cocaine and cigarettes, and not sleeping and eating bad food, and we ejaculate acid sperm into the woman, and her body reject that sperm in the form of fibroid. And the fibroid is just an emission of this toxin that we put into the woman. We stress the Black woman out, and the stress now is also causing fibroid to accumulate because her body is reactionary, and she's a woman that received, and so she's been receiving our mess, our bull, you know what? She's been receiving, she hold on to those stuff. And the reaction is endometriosis, fibroid tumors, PCOS, chlamydia, ovarian cysts, and you name it. This is a result of men, okay? The endocrine disruption, or the thyroids, that's something linked to auto, telling us that there's an imbalance in the body, a hormone in the body. And if you look at the certain deodorant we use, if you look at the lotion we use, the underwear that we use that are dyed, we are throwing off our equilibrium, our hormonal balance, and it's interfering with the thyroid function. And so for the CMOS, it has natural cataract, and it has the potassium, the magnesium, helps to supply the natural iodine, helps to restore function of the thyroid gland. So I would highly recommend this for those with thyroid issue. And for those of you who want in-depth information, we also offer consultation. You can email me at bushmedicineman@gmail.com, and you can do a private one-on-one consultation, and we can do a one-on-one in-depth consultation into your cost, because I know there's a lot, and there's a long journey on a short path. There's so much things to say in such a short time.
No, so just repeat for me, sir, your website, and then I will get.
Yes. The website is newlifebahamas.com. Newlife.com.
Sir, there are a few more questions in the chat, but I don't know exactly how much time we've got. But if you have,
sister, this is so important, and I'm seeing a flurry.
There's
of information. So I'd be remiss if I don't give you at least 5 more minutes, sister. You choose what questions you want.
I'm open. You guys, it's up to you, Brother Andrew, but I'm here.
It's powerful, especially when you mention about ejaculation of semen filled in. Lord God.
I think somebody said they saw me and I looked shocked. Yes, that one took me a little bit by surprise. So
5 minutes, Jarita. 5 minutes, Jarita.
Okay, let's get to business then. We have a couple more questions about things that you could recommend for growing plants, or things that we can take here in the UK specifically. I know obviously you're abroad and you're in the nice bright sunshine, but right now it's dingy here. So what do we do here to keep ourselves healthy? What would you recommend?
UK is different, because when you, I don't know, they call it Yankee, but when you come out of the Bahamas, or you come out of Jamaica or Trinidad, with these are tropical environment, and you relocate into a London environment, which is -6 degrees, 3 p.m. when you pick up your kids, it's gloomy, it's always gray, there's lack of sunlight. And so if you come in an environment where you're bathing in the UV vitamin D, and to an environment now where it may be necessary for you to supplement with vitamin D. And I'm sure Dr. Mark is going to go about this as well. It's recommended that you supplement with vitamin D, because you're not getting it anymore that in the way that you do such abundance with the sun. And the same is said with those food. Now, in London, certain indigenous crops that has adjusted itself to the climate and the environment of London. It would be wrong of me to tell you to bring your food from Jamaica, that tropical environment, and grow that food in London, which has a different geographical component, a different substance and molecular structure of the air is different. So you need to find what nature is doing. Nature is adjusting itself. And so you go to nature and you ask nature, what have you prepared for me to eat today? And so find out what grows in season in this month. This is now April, May. What grows naturally in this environment? And the food store should be your last option, your last stop. It should not be your first stop. So try to find what grows wild, what is indigenous, what can I grow in my environment that is indigenous to London, to UK, wherever you are. Because again, I cannot recommend you to grow crops off the internet. That person who wrote that book who's in Ohio, and they've never been to London before. That's a derelict, and that's not right. Because the birds, when the birds migrate from Bahamas to London, the bird doesn't carry a suitcase with its food. The bird, when it reaches London, it trusts that God that will prepare its food, will have its table of food ready for it. And we need to do the same thing. When we relocate, we need to find out what is indigenous, what is natural, what is going to grow now in this environment. Not let me bring my food out of uproot. Let me uproot my food out of my tropical environment and force it to grow in this frigid, doom and gloom environment. And that's the way the conversation needs to start. But you may need to supplement with supplementation to get what you need, because a black man needs more melanin. This is not racism. This is just facts. A black man or black woman need more vitamin D than a Caucasian. We need more vitamin D. If you move where there's a lack of vitamin D because of the position that UK is based on data and where it's positioned with the sun, now you need to implement. If you don't do that, you're going to be exposed or more susceptible to getting vitamin D deficiency disease, such as prostate cancer, breast cancer, skin cancer, and I can go on and on and on.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Yes.
much. A couple more things have popped up around particular ailments. I know you've already said if people wanted to contact you about these specifically, but I don't know if you'd have just a few points that you can put for some of these. We've got some people asking about high blood pressure and arthritis, diabetes, eczema, and asthma. So anything about those?
So let's start with hypertension, because hypertension is something that they call it the silent killer. But remember, hypertension is a compound word. It's two words into one. Hypertension. There's tension in the body, and not just in the body. Tension in the body of our people, as the Black people. There's tension, right? And when we look at the tension, we see one word in the play: stress. Because not all hypertension is pathological, meaning always blockage. Most of us are stressed, especially the pandemic have us more stressed because now we have to be quarantined and we under lockdown and there's uncertainty, jobs and relationship. So all of this stress is causing our heart to be more anxious. When you put the pressure reader around somebody's arms, you are not checking to see how the arm is working. You are actually monitoring the heart. You are seeing how hard the heart is working. And the heart has to now work, because if there's lack of oxygen, if there's acidosis in the body, the heart has to pump harder to bring more oxygen in the blood. So it needs, because of lack of oxygen, it needs to pump more blood to bring the oxygen level to those cells that require the same amount of oxygen. But now the body's in a state of stupor. So the best way to counteract hypertension is to exercise. That's number one. Exercise has to be the number one thing. So if you're sedentary or couch potato, Netflix and chill all day, you can drink a gallon of green juice a day. And if you're laying on the lazy boy, it will not benefit you. You could drink and eat all the alkaline food in the world. If you are not exercising, the body will not receive those food, because everything has been shut down. The lymphatic system, which makes up the immunological system, only function through movement, through exercise, through resistance. Now, it's good to exert, over sweat, exercise to the point where the heart loves that. Your heart loves that. Okay? So that first thing. Second thing is to do constant detox. At least once a year, you should do a cleanse. If you're with me now and you haven't done a detox in 5 to 10 years, it's not a matter of if you get hypertension. It's a matter of when. It becomes inevitable. And hypertension also is a kidney disease, i.e. dialysis, and it's also linked to diabetes. Diabetes means that the pancreas is malfunctioning, or there's blockage in the duodenum, the small intestines, and there's issues with the liver. So we need to do a gut detox, what we call a cellular cleanse. And you can go on our website and you can get the chelation, the CMOS, and the healing tonic. And those three items will, again, they will cleanse the you need the bilberry tonic, which is very, very good for diabetes because it has chromium, and chromium is what the pancreas need. Like how your bone need calcium, the blood need iron, the pancreas need chromium. But you need to cut out starch. We are eating too much grains, too much rice, and not enough greens. Your plate should consist of 50% vegetables, 25% protein, 5% grain, and 20% fruits. Anything other than that, you are setting yourself up for disease.
Brothers and sisters, Dr. Walcott is in the house. I must mention that Dr. Walcott is now in the house. Brother Jamaal.
Yes.
Brother Jamaal. Please, before I even start, Brother Jamaal, brothers, give a big shout to Sister Jurita. Absolutely on the ball, Sister Jurita. I know you're waiting for Dr. Walcott because I know there's going to be so many questions, so many comments. We're going to be doing this, man. We're going to be doing this. I must say, bush medicine, man. Oh, my God. Dr. Jamaal, you killed the game tonight. Brother.
Thank you.
You killed the damn game tonight. Brothers
big up,
and sisters.
Big up my big elder, Mark. Big up Dr. Mark. He's my spiritual teacher.
Brother Jamaal, quickly, brother. what would you like to say to us about Dr. Walcott?
Dr. Mark is one of the most humblest brother I've ever that got me into the gym. He changed my life. He is someone walk the walk, talk the talk. And he and I use a term, glide, 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 knuckle, knuckle, knuckle. And he will explain what that means. But he's my elder, and I've learned so much from Dr. Mark, man. And he inspired me so much to see what he have done, living in Tibet, living in the mountains of the Himalayas mountain, in Sanskrit. He is my elder. You know, he's my elder, and I respect Dr. Mark so much. And he's a brother, what you see as is, raw to the core. And my big brother, man, Dr. Mark, I love you, man. Let's go a whole hour talking about you, the accolades and your accomplishments. Yes, man.
Yes, my king. Because this brother is loved. This brother is loved.
Yes.
This brother is loved. And
Yes.
I'm very happy to say that the brother is Dr. Mark is with us. He'll be coming on very shortly. I've got Sister Jackie. Jackie, can you unmic yourself, Sister Jackie? Sister Jackie Gunthorpe. I know you probably wasn't expecting this, but Sister Jackie, can you unmic yourself, my queen?
Yes, hi.
If we can see you, that'd be a bonus. But if you don't want to be seen, it's okay. You can turn the mic, the camera on if you want to, sister. I understand that. Oh, fantastic! There's our queen, Sister Jackie.
I need to go.
Good to see you, my queen. Yeah, getting some light. Turn on some light, man. We want to see our princess, man. Sister Jackie, I understand that you were blessed to be one of the I don't know if you use word patients or one of the people that our doctor has seen. Tell us your experience very quickly, sister, before we move on.
Well, I have fibromyalgia and sciatica and osteoarthritis, and I was on walking sticks for over a year, and went to see Dr. Mark after hearing about him. And I literally went to have surgery on my walking stick. And after being there for about an hour, I left, and I was walking and I left my walking stick. I literally left.
Wow.
This man is so amazing. I feel that he gave me back my life. He did. I do so much now. I haven't had walking sticks since I've left that surgery. Yeah, and I highly, highly recommend. Just big up yourself, Dr. Mark. You know, you've given me back my life, and I appreciate it so much.
Oh, sister, thank you very much, Sister Jackie.
You're welcome,
for
brother.
having the beauty and the courage to come out and say, I know you wasn't really expecting it, but I just had to, since the brother was with us. Thank you so much, my queen. Thank you so much, my queen. Brothers and sisters, so Dr. Walcott will be with us very soon. He's known as the Conscious Doctor. I know we're nearly touching 500 on the platform. I know more brothers are due to come on because the king himself is with us. And before our brother comes on, we're just gonna do one or two quick things and bring our brother on. So as you know, you're with the Investigator, and it's time for Black Thought. And again, big up to brother Jamaal, Dr. Jamaal, for giving us a fantastic foundation tonight. Fantastic foundation tonight. Bow to you, brother, all the way from the Bahamas. We thank you, my king.
That's a love. I'll be tuning in. I'll be here tuning in to Dr. Mark.
Thank you, my big brother. Thank you, my big brother. So, brothers and sisters, let's quickly just touch on a few things, brothers and sisters. I know many of you, and to me, it's up to you if you take the vaccine. Yeah, it's up to you. It's a personal choice. But I must say that I do listen. For the last 30, 40 years of my life, I've listened to this man, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and he does not play. And he says to us, don't take their vaccine. Don't take their vaccine. I'd rather give my faith to a higher wisdom than to those who come out of number 10 Downing Street. Because when I look on the news and I see that the news is a propaganda that never shows the two sides of this debate, because I know that literally in London, just a few days ago, this was taking place, and it was really hardly on the news, hardly.
Snaking their way along Oxford Street, many thousands of protesters. A march that spanned almost the entire length of the capital's main shopping street. This was a noisy affair. Real anger here at what they see as the great COVID conspiracy. Most certainly won't share those views, but the people here believe they speak for a huge chunk of the population, railing against continued COVID restrictions, against the prospect of so-called COVID passports, and even against the wearing of face masks. Among the protesters, others who even believe the vaccine programme is unnecessary and being driven by the big pharmaceutical companies.
I think we've been taken over by what's becoming a totalitarian state, which is based on very bad science, in fact false science, and there's a fraud behind a lot of it.
Already we're being limited with testing. You're not able to get medical treatment if you say no to testing. Some people literally do not have the ability to be tested. They have health conditions. It's just limited. This is not.
So, brothers and sisters, I showed that, and I said, remember, this is not me telling you not to take it necessarily. It's a very personal choice, because, you know, I don't know your situation, but all I do know, brothers and sisters, the media is very, 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 very unfair when it comes to its choice on what to show as being news. Because this, to me, was major news. Thousands and thousands came marching out, brothers and sisters. So that's my view. And today on the news, brothers and sisters, I saw this. I thought, I wonder if we understand what was really being said here. Just watch.
Alarming new information. For instance, data suggests black women face a significantly higher risk of having a miscarriage than white women, and losing a pregnancy can leave all women vulnerable to long-term health problems. With 1 in 7 pregnancies ending in a miscarriage, there are now calls for more specialist support to be offered. Our health correspondent Anna Collinson has the full story.
People don't talk about miscarriages that much, so I really had no experience of what happens when someone has a miscarriage.
In 2018, Nana Dua Butcher lost her 4th baby at 18 weeks. As a black woman, research suggests she's more at risk of miscarrying.
The thought of having to go through labour was worse than knowing that my baby died, because with my previous pregnancies, go through labour, it's painful, it's horrible, but you have a living baby at the end of it. This time I knew it was going to be painful, it was going to be horrible, and I was going to be presented with my baby that had died.
A new report published in The Lancet has studied more than 4 million pregnancies across 7 countries. It says around 1 in 7 pregnancies end in miscarriage, and around 1 in 100 women suffer 3 or more losses in a row. Crucially, it suggests miscarriage rates among black women are 43% higher compared to white women. Research.
Did you hear that? 43% higher for black women. That's scary.
Researchers are now calling for further studies to work out why this group may be more at risk.
But there's several possible reasons. One is that they're more susceptible to diabetes and hypertension, and those conditions need to be well controlled. Another one is that they're more likely to have fibroids, and we're not really sure about how fibroids contribute to miscarriage. And the other reason is social. It's possible that black women are less keen to access medical care.
Oh, did you hear that trick word there, brothers and sisters? See, for the time I watched this on the news, and I watched carefully, for the time she started stuttering, I knew that she knew within herself, I'm lying here. She didn't know how to say this. So basically, if you don't understand what she's saying, our black women, 43% higher chance, yeah? It's really your fault. It's not our fault as medical practitioners. It's your fault because you're not coming forward. Oh, brother, for the time she started to stutter, I'm recording it already because I know you're about to say something you know is controversial and you know you're damn lying. I'm not a doctor, but I watch body language and I listen carefully. And so basically what you were saying is not the fault of the medical service, it's black women's fault because they're not coming forward. It's your fault that this is happening. You got to understand how the enemy works, brothers and sisters. It's very, very tricky area. Very tricky area, my queens. So I'm going to keep a very close eye on
Alarming
that. I'll keep a very close eye on that. Now, brothers and sisters, this time last week, the George Floyd verdict was being given. So let's have a listen.
Derek Chauvin's face when they read that guilty verdict, he is genuinely like, but I'm white. I mean, he just kept. Do they know I'm white? I'm white though. I'm a white man. I'm police. Guilty. But I'm white. I can't be guilty and white. You gotta be one or the other. I'm a white man. I'm going to jail when I'm white. but I'm white. This is beyond me. I would like to speak to the manager of the jury. I want to speak to the manager of the jury. Do they not know I'm white? Do they not see my whiteness in my skin? No bail? Reprimanded? But I'm white. I do the reprimanding. You're gonna find me guilty? I am experiencing white disgust.
So, brothers and sisters, that was the reality last week. But before I carry on, can we all give a bow to Sister Joycelyn? You know, I just read your message in the chat room. Brothers and sisters, please, let us all honor and bow to our sister who's gone through some serious experiences when it comes to miscarriages. And you must know what you're talking about, sister. And so, to blame us as a people, think about that. If that was Jewish women, 43% more likely to have a miscarriage. I guarantee you they wouldn't have said that. If that was Chinese women, that would have 43% more likely of having them. They wouldn't have said that. It's your fault. It's your fault, not our fault. So, Sister Joycelyn, my heart goes to you, my queen. I see you. But just going back to this situation, brothers and sisters,
Derek,
I'll be honest with you. I posted this during the week that I said, I'm sorry, but I will not be celebrating with you all. Because why? We have set the standard of justice so low. And I listen to the TV. You guys and the TV directs many of you, or many of us. They use certain language that makes you want to fall in line and become very emotive. And they made us feel that because this white officer has been made guilty, we are now free. We can now celebrate. Beloved brothers and sisters, it is an insult to even think that we had to hold our breaths for the verdict. And even if the verdict went on our side for that one case, it changes nothing for the thousands and thousands of our people being killed at the hands of these white police officers and nothing's done. 16,000 in that one state. He's the first white officer. I'm not celebrating over that. As Malcolm X said, brothers and sisters, if you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and you pull it out 6 inches, that is not progress. Progress is when you start healing my wounds, man. That your blade has done. And then we can start talking about healing those wounds, fixing those wounds, and making sure you could never put a knife in my back again. Then you see me start celebrating. But I say to black people, brothers and sisters, I understand that many of you are so happy. But I'm telling you, man, be careful that we don't set the standard of justice so low, because there will be a consequence for that kind of mentality. Yeah, we need to rise up, man. and never allow this system to treat us like this. Yeah, never allow. And whilst we're all celebrating, when this white boy was going to prison, many of us never saw this.
Place. On Friday, May 29th, 8 correctional officers of color went to work at Ramsey County Jail, which is right here behind me, expecting to do their jobs. However, they were prevented from doing so when former police officer Derek Chauvin arrived at the jail that afternoon. Upon his arrival, Superintendent Leiden ordered that all the correctional officers of color were to be prohibited from guarding Chauvin or going anywhere on the 5th floor where he was to be held.
So how are we supposed to have faith in our own justice system when our own justice system doesn't even have faith in itself? Those officers were removed from their duty simply because they were black. Simply because the superintendent did not want them around that man. But we're supposed to have faith in our own justice system. You can't make this stuff up, man.
You cannot make this stuff up. So whilst we're celebrating, the man's been treated like a king. No black man's even allowed to be near him, even as black police officers. But yet they arrest our children and they could be surrounded by European white men and nothing said. Because why? They're white. They're going to give justice. But black police officers can't go nowhere near him, brothers and sisters. So that's why I said I'm not celebrating with all of you yet. The system is rotten to the core. This is my black thought today, brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, who's this queen? Who is this queen? Who is this queen, brothers and sisters? Please. 5, 4. Cherry Gross. Thank you, Sister Prue. Cherry Gross. And I'm so, this is the same sister that was in her home bed, shot by police, and then they try to put it on her that she was the most violent, evil beast they've ever encountered. She was so strong that they broke her back. But I'm happy to say that this week we honored our sister.
Glory, glory, singing glory, 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 singing glory. One day, when the victory's won, it will be yours.
So let us never forget Cherry Gross, brothers and sisters. Let's never forget her. Brothers and sisters, does anyone recognize who this man is? Who's this brother, man? Who is this brother? Because I want to honor. This is a platform of positive propaganda. Yeah, positive propaganda. Our Jimmy. Yeah, they call him Jimmy the Hero, brothers and sisters. And he's one of our young youths. I believe he was only 20 years old. Only 20 years old, brothers and sisters.
Flowers for the young man who's become known as Jimmy the Hero. Folojimi Olobunmi Adewale died trying to save a stranger from the Thames. She was rescued along with Jimmy's friend who also jumped in. A body, thought to be Jimmy's, was found hours later. Today, his parents, clearly deeply distressed, said they wanted to tell us how proud they were of their son.
My son is a hero and he's a very kind boy. He's my friend. Even if I'm at home, he always comes to me and we are really friends.
This is my son's clothes. I can't sleep since Friday. I use this clothes to cover myself. I'm smelling for Jimmy's body on this clothes.
Jimmy's friend Bernard was with him and saw what happened.
I could hear Jimmy screaming my name. It was just pitch black everywhere. And I was just trying to see if I could see him. He just kept screaming my name. I got on the cliff. All I could hear was my name. He's just echoing.
At Jimmy's old school today, pupils and teachers gathered to clap for 2 minutes in celebration of his life and his sacrifice.
He had a joyful way of looking at life. He was quite instinctive in his actions in ways, so, and everybody that I've spoken to were not remotely surprised by what he had done at all. They said that was absolutely typical of his type of character, that he would see somebody in need and want to help them.
Brothers and sisters, as I said, don't ever get tired of thanking our youth, man. Please, if you got some kind words, even though their family's not with us on this platform, but we know the spiritual power of our prayers and our condolences mean a lot. So please, show some love in the platform for our king, man. This Hidden Truth platform is us about sharing that love and energy all over the world, brothers and sisters, all over the world. Show some love to our young brother Jimmy, man. And I was so happy, brothers and sisters, our brother Daniel, I must admit, brothers and sisters, I don't know this brother physically, but I've fallen in love with him. I watch his characters that he plays, from Get Out to Judas, the Messiah, whatever. This brother, I watch his interviews. I'm literally, as a black man, in love with this young black brother. And I salute this brother and thank him. And it was so moving to see him with other black professionals, man. Yeah, like Dave, the rapper Dave, and Giggs, and football players. I mean, they got their black collective, and he unapologetically is a black youth, a black man. And I love when I saw black men celebrating the victory of another black man. I love to see this.
Moment, you know. BSS, you know. Big moment, big moment. BSS, big moment. Yes, man. Big moment, my guy. Big moment, big moment. Yes, what? Big moment. What? Let me hold it. Yes, come on, my guys. Yours is coming. Yours is coming. Yours is coming. Bro. Yours is coming. I let Daniel hold it. That's what I'm saying. Go on, Dan. We need to see you with it, cuz. We need to see you with it. We need to see you with it, cuz. That's what I'm saying, my guy. Look at that. Look at this thing. Look at that. My guy, you know. Estate living, you feel me? Local living, cuz. Local living. Local. Hey. That's what I'm saying, brother. This is my beloved, man.
That thing is bro. That thing's shining, bro. Shining, bro. Look how it's shining, bro. The journey's the goal, though, fam. You know? This is all a checkpoint.
Best performance by an actor in support.
That, to me, see, what's more important than the Oscar is seeing black men celebrating without no hesitation, without no malicious. We are celebrating the love and the victory and the success of other black men. Oh, I love that, brothers and sisters. I love that, brothers and sisters. Yeah, I love that, brothers and sisters.
Moment, you know.
And I'm just touching on some stuff. Remember, we've got Dr. Walcott coming on very soon. Brothers and sisters, 2-3 weeks ago, the brother in the left-hand corner with his mother, Brother Levi, we know that he was murdered on the streets of South London. His mother and father was on this very Hidden Truth platform. And just to let you know, if you don't know, that a mother of the age of 36 and her son of 19 have been arrested for murdering the 17-year-old boy. And the mother literally drove the 4 attackers that actually ended up killing this young boy. We've got a lot of work to do in our community, brothers and sisters. We've got a lot of work to do in our community, brothers and sisters. You know, when a mother of 36 years old, I mean, we're people of trauma. And, you know, if mothers are getting involved in this, I'm telling you, man, we need to redouble our efforts, brothers and sisters. We need to redouble our absolute efforts, because this is crazy. This is madness. But you know what? Remember what I said. You must unlearn what you have learned, brothers and sisters. And, you know, as we move forward, many of you know from last week's show, we have the Westside Young Leaders Academy. And our job is to make our future leaders, make them powerful. What is wrong with that picture? brothers and sisters, tell me in the chat room, what is wrong with that picture? What is wrong with that picture? Everything. That's right. Absolutely everything. Everything. Yeah? Well, brothers and sisters, we're making sure that we're not going to have that reality going in. Because many of our youth are growing up thinking that to be a man, you got to follow what we call the man. You are the original man. And you are the original woman, brothers and sisters. And so we have now moved into our new premises. These are my pupils that come to my academy, brothers and sisters. This is what we're building. So don't think I'm just having little hidden truth shows on a Tuesday or little shows on a Friday. It's big. Listen, man, we got a work to do tonight, brethren. You understand that? These are what I call my next. I'm making new investigators. That's what I'm dealing with here, brothers and sisters. Yeah, and I'm so happy, brothers and sisters. We're not playing that game. We're not playing that game. Yeah, we're building an army. There's an army you can see that roll with me, and there's an army you can't see that roll with me. Yeah, that's how we're playing. Yeah, and we're gonna build some soldiers today. See what I'm saying, man? That's a new generation of black youth we're bringing up, man. They ain't going to put that on the news. They're not going to put that on the news, brothers and sisters. But I'm saying to you, man, we've got our new building and we are now moving. We are now moving. And we're saying that if you've got a black boy or girl, you enroll them with us. Because we don't play. We don't play, man. We have discipline in our school, brethren. No back chatting in this school. Yeah? But our children know it's a discipline of love. By black men and black women who understand the time. So brothers and sisters, you know, if you want to help us out, that's our details, man. You set up a monthly order. You treat it as like your tax. Yeah, your national tax. We are there. And we don't play. You know, Brother Andrew Mohammed, I've got nowhere to run. The only place I can run is to Dr. Walcott, and he can't run because you got our numbers. You know where we are. Yeah, so we can't run. Even if we wanted to thief your money, we can't run nowhere today. So, brothers and sisters, Dr. Walcott's getting ready very soon. Don't forget, on Friday, brothers and sisters.
Shout out to all my real X-fans out there. You know, I did a tribute last week, but it weren't a tribute. I just jumped on one of X's beats and spat pain like how he spits. The general deserves more than that. Shout out to the Locks. Everybody knows I'm a Locks fan from way back. This one mad in me. Let's go. Used to be my teacher, you was in my left cranium. You represented strength like vibranium. Everybody knew about X. You couldn't play with him. You can't mention hip-hop without saying him. Used to be my teacher, you was in my left cranium. You represented strength like vibranium. Everybody knew about X. You couldn't play with him. You can't mention hip-hop without... When it rains, Donnies get wet. Stay dry. X taught me as a man, you can still cry. Things gonna happen, won't always be a fool. It's not how you stand, it's how you get up when you fall. Now X represented like two halves of one brother. Then I see these new colourful head Donnies, I'm like, dumb brother. Stupid this, stupid does. Weak brother. Look what being stupid does get you vaccine, brother. You talking about the shoulders of giants? X was one of them. When him and Swiss Beats came through, they were done in them. We was in Westwood when we first heard the song. The whole damn club was getting their on. I'll never forget the time. Arches, Vauxhall, Tim was dropping that mad bass line. We was in a circle, all waiting for that line. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. That's why you used to be my teacher. You was in my left cranium. You represented strength like vibranium. Everybody knew about X. You couldn't play with him. You can't mention hip-hop without saying him. Used to be my teacher. You was in my left cranium. You represented strength like vibranium. Everybody knew about X. You couldn't play with him. You can't mention hip-hop without saying him. Even Lewis Hamilton had to big him up, but the backlash he got because he didn't talk about what? Go and go on the meds. You're going to compare a king who died at 50 to a prince who looked like he was already dead? Lewis said he didn't care. Go while this keyboard gangster's going on, St. Vincent's going up in the air. That ain't that part of the Commonwealth. They shouldn't need help. Lizzie should just come in and the matter should get dealt with. Now, X would have said, it's them and it's us. Your country blows up, you got melon in your mutt. Big up to the big buck, coming straight from the up. That's UK if you break it up, because you used to be my teacher, you was in my left cranium. You represented strength like vibranium. Everybody knew about X. You couldn't play with him. You can't mention hip-hop without saying him. Used to be my teacher, you was in my left cranium. You represented strength like vibranium. Everybody knew about X. You couldn't play with him. You can't mention hip-hop without saying him. R.I.P. the General X. And all the real X followers and fans out there. But
come on. So brothers and sisters, this coming Friday, your little brothers, Andrew Mohammed, the Investigator, we're going to blow up the X night. Popcorn Friday, this Friday, brother Andrew Mohammed is going to do a hidden truth on DMX. And I'm telling you that it's going to be a hardcore night. So don't come if you're soft. Don't come. It's going to be X. And forgive me, Dr. Walcott, for talking like this, Bridget, because I know you're a general, brother, and I've got to behave myself when a general's in the house. But listen up, man. Don't come, because I'm telling you now, this coming Friday, brothers and sisters, I'm going to be joined with my queen, Sister Veronica Mace, the only hip-hop specialist, female hip-hop specialist in the UK that teaches this at the Metropolitan University. Yeah. So this coming Friday. Sister China, put down the link, my queen. And brothers and sisters, those who wanted the those of you that wanted to have the bank details, again, this is the bank details. If you wanted to help my academy, if you want to help my academy, the Westside Young Leaders Academy, even if you could put set a standing order, £10, £5, £1 a month, I don't care. But what it does, we have mothers that come to us, single mothers who have got no money. And any money that you can help us will help a brother or sister who's got a mother or a family that can't afford any fees. So brothers and sisters, please make a note of that. Sister Jurita, please make a note of that, my queen. Because we ain't playing today. This is love. This is love. This is love. So brothers and sisters, jeez, you're in tune now. We've got 500 of you on the platform now. I had to get it. I had to make sure he's ready for Dr. Walcott. So we're 500 on the platform right now. And don't forget, next week, after Dr. Walcott this week, next week, we got Reverend Shock from Los Angeles. Yeah, you know, brothers and sisters, if you know Reverend Shock, because I know we got a hardcore following here. If you know Reverend Shock, put down Smelly, because this man is smelly. Put down Smelly if you've heard Reverend Shock on this platform. And brothers and sisters, we've got the dynamic duo with him. We've got Lady Adele. Oh my goody gumdrops. I say that one more time. We've got Lady Adele with bun and cheese for us next week. Yeah? Licking shots in your cranium. See, I'm using words like cranium because Dr. Walcott said, I can talk medical now. You know what I'm saying? I can talk medical like my big brother today. So brothers and sisters, next week, remapping the African mind. Now I want you to listen to Dr. Walcott tonight. And I want you to listen to him so well tonight. So by next week, you overlay what Dr. Walcott talks about with what Reverend Shock from USA and Lady My Aunt from London is going to talk about. So brothers and sisters, I know what you're saying to me. I know what you're saying to me tonight. Andrew, we want to hear from the doctor himself. We want to hear now from the doctor himself. Jeez. And without any further ado, brothers and sisters, I bow to you and introduce the keynote speaker tonight, my brother, my prime minister. Yes, I'm using his lyrics. My prime minister, the man we refer to as the conscious doctor, because he don't give a damn. He's a part of being a doctor is about giving life. And a part of giving life is about giving truth. And Jesus says, you shall know the truth, and it's the truth that will set you free. So as our brother comes on now, make sure your questions go into the Q&A box. Jarita is right there. Yeah, Jarita's sitting right there, and she'll come in at any time. She's gangster. Yeah, she comes in at any time. Cut the doctor and say, hey, Uno. Lord gosh, let me behave myself. Dr. Walcott, how are you doing, my king?
Oh, I'm super good, man. Wow, I'm super good. I'm excited.
Come on, my king.
Excited. Really excited. I had a long day today, but before I get started, I want to say thank you to you first and foremost. You're doing an immaculate job and with some Herculean tasks that you have, because I've never seen anyone do what you're doing. And the thing is with us as a people, lots of people criticize us, lots of things, we don't come together, blah, blah, blah. But one of the things we seem to be doing all the time is seeing our great predecessors, and they're often in our midst, and we don't see them until they die. So while you have life, my dear brother, I want to say I love you, brother Andrew.
Love you too, King.
And the next thing I want to say that the work you're doing is immaculate, is outstanding. And so I want to give you that acknowledgement for the works you're doing. And I can see where you're going with what you're doing. And you're going to do nothing but lick bear shot. Lick shot on Babylon. I like when you speak like that, and I like when I speak like that, because we then start to use a language that belongs to us, at least.
Yes.
French, you know, it's not Swahili, but we managed to lick a shot with some new lick and some new rhymes, and so we can communicate that sometimes they don't know what we're talking about. And I like that. I like that sometimes. I like that.
Brother Doctor, can I pause you 1 second, King? Because you just set me on fire already, King. Don't worry, brothers and sisters. Doctor's going to be coming in hard. But Sister Zeminish, are you with us? Sister Zeminish, can we see you? And can you, oh, our queen, Sister Zeminish. This sister is one of the part of the Hidden Truth team as well. She's been doing something, she's doing work for my academy in the background, but she's going to be joining us as a part of the Hidden Truth team. But sister, please, tell us about your experience with Dr. Walcott, please, because this man is just too damn humble, man. I just want to squeeze his neck in her. The man's too damn humble. Tell us about your experience with Dr. Walcott, please.
Greetings, family. Thank you for having me on the platform this evening. I just wanted to say something really quickly, just to let everybody know that Dr. Mark has been doing some amazing work with my family. So far, he's seen my sister and my uncle, and they are coming forth really well since coming to see Dr. Mark at his surgery there at the Medipark Centre. So yeah, I just wanted to recommend him to anyone who's having any kind of health ailments or sickness. He's definitely the man that you need to see. And I would also add that, you know, it's so key for us to have a Black conscious doctor in our community. And I just want to thank Dr. Mark for being there for us and giving his time, especially with his radio show that he does every Friday from 11 till 4, yep. Where he gives health advice to everybody along with the breathing exercises. And I tell you, my mum is definitely one of the key people that attend that one with you every Friday, doing the breathing exercises. So it's doing wonders for her. And also, not to mention the miracle tonic. I've got many of my family members taking it. It's not the easiest thing to digest. But I would definitely recommend, you know, taking that miracle tonic. Like my family and I, we've seen some great benefits from it. And, you know, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. So thank you, Dr. Mark, and thank you, Brother Andrew, for having me on.
Out to you, sister. Thank you very much. Brothers, make some noise, Sister Zeminesh. She's one of our support team behind the scenes, man. We can't do what we're doing without Sister Zeminesh. Thank you, my queen. Dr. Mark, I'm handing it over to you. And don't forget, tonight, brothers and sisters, when Dr. Mark finishes, we've got the guru himself, Brother Tarun, okay? We got him, we're going to be talking about him. And we're getting a free, that's a little freebie to that, what this brother's going to be dropping. He has his own classes. youngsters, you're gonna have to pay for it, because this is a guru we got on us tonight, and he's willing to just give us a 15-minute free session on our breathing. I know Dr. Mark can speak about this, brother. And Mark, I'll leave you for the rest of the night, King. Lead us the way. Sister Jarita, look out for the Q&As. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much, man. Thank you. And Zamanesh, that was really humbling. Thank you so much. I forget all the people I treat till they remind me, to be honest. Jamaal, I want to say before I start again, I need to bear some witness to the great Dr. Jamaal Monkour. Wow, where do I start? Okay, I have to say something in acknowledgement of Jamaal. First of all, I miss him so much, you know. In my field, it gets lonely. You know, I work with at least 15 doctors now. They've registered with the GMC, which is the General Medical Council. And I'm fortunate to be a naturopath working with registered doctors in the NHS. It's started about many years ago. I've been doing this for 40 years now. And so it's a great opportunity, but it gets lonely because they ain't dropping no bars like Jamaal, right? They ain't dropping no bars. Mostly, don't mind me saying, I'm the one dropping the bars because I'm the elder among all of them in terms of studying the science of health on all levels, even theirs. So it gets lonely. And with Jamaal, we have this, it's an organic, natural, effortless relationship, philosophy. And so when we speak together, when we met, that's another story, because he discovered that my birthday was the same birthday as Dr. Sebi, the 26th of November. And so that was the first thing that inflamed his mind. And then when we got talking, then he said, listen, man, you're like the same guy and so forth. So he flew over to England. When we met, it was effortless. And so when we normally speak together, we get this thing where we're both saying so much the same thing that we have to just stop in mid-flow and just like blown away, like we're on the same page all the time. We came up with this saying, when you do that, we say knuckles, 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 glide, 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 because we're on the same page. So that's why he said knuckles, knuckles, knuckles. He said I would explain. So that's I wanted to get that out there, brother Jamaal. I know his family. I flew to Bahamas. He introduced me to the ministers of health, ministers of education, and they wanted to set me up to work out there in the Bahamas as a doctor there with Jamaal, with loads of projects, lots of different projects, but it didn't happen because they had a massive hurricane and so forth. But I practiced there for a couple of years consecutively, and did this radio, and he did lots of exposure with me in the Bahamas. But yeah, I wanted to say thank you to Jamaal. I haven't seen him for years. I just saw him just now, and it's going to be great to just see him again and share some knuckles, 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 glide, glide, glide. So thank you for that. I listened to you, Brother Andrew, just now, and other than feeling that you are my Prime Minister, my Marcus Garvey, you see, we can't keep looking for Bob Marleys. We have to keep inventing new Bob Marleys. We can't keep just looking to Marcus Garvey. We have to keep inventing, recreating new Marcus Garveys with the upgrade. And the upgrade would not do what Marcus was doing or planning what Marcus was planning, but the actual template, the philosophy of love and the furtherment and development, evolution of our people, you know, outside of the shackles of how they, you know, keep us tied and, in this chain that they told us would never break, this demoralization. And what that brings me to is, and I'm going to go medical on this, but I want to lay a foundation where when the foundation of something is wrong, whatever you build on that is wrong. When a mathematical formula, mathematical sum is added, if one number that's wrong in that addition, then the whole thing is wrong. No matter how hard you work, it's wrong. So there was a book and a philosophy called The Making of a Slave, right? And this is where, Willie Lynch set a foundation, a principle, and put in place that if you destroy the male image, and the male power in any, civilization, in any community of people, you destroy that people. And so he destroyed the male image in the black peoples by having them quartered in the street and have the women frozen to see how destructive it looks, so that they would make their young boys weak, because if they're strong, they will also get quartered. And so these are some of the kind of different tricks that they've used in the past for hundreds of years. That brings me to the most common trick, other than making the woman frozen with fear, because the woman, as we come from a matriarchal society, the woman really, without the women having a place of power, our society always falls. So they made sure that our women are not in sync with their men, and that's going on all over the Black nation. That brings me to the next devilish trick that they use is PRS, problem, reaction, solution, and that will catapult me into the medical, arena that I want to pitch from today. Problem, reaction, solution, PRS, is the oldest trick in the book of the devil. You create the problem, then you get the reaction from the people when you create that problem, and you always will. And then you go with the solution. The thing is, the solution that you bring was your agenda in the first place. So, for example, if you want to bring out a new agenda for stop and search, you increase the crimes in that area that would warrant more stop and searches. You create more problems, when I say PRS, in that area by using your media. Young boys fight and stab and do stuff all the time. There's fights amongst blacks and whites and Indians and Chinese, but if you just highlight the black people fighting, then you call it black on black crime. You never hear about Chinese and Chinese crime, even though they have big gangs like the Yakuza. They're murdering on a daily basis. The Russians are said to have the biggest mafia in the world. Russians fight Russians. English fight English. They kill each other all the time for hundreds of years. Never hear about white on white crime. So you make a package, you make a meal of the thing you want to present as a problem, and you ramp up the problem like you ramp up the R number in this pandemic. You ramp it up by using media. When you ramp up the problem, you get, even if the problem is with black people, you get your own black people saying, you know what, somebody, please do something. And then you get, that's the reaction. And then they come like Jesus with the so-called solution, like the Messiah, when that solution is the entrapment. And so in medicine, it's the same thing. They create the problem by not giving the proper service to the people. So if you keep treating people's symptoms and not treat the cause of those symptoms, you then ramp up a big problem. Then people say, do something. The problem is, when you give people thousands and thousands of pharmaceutical drugs, the problem is unending, because you're going to keep creating new diseases all the time called drug diseases, diseases caused by pharmaceutical drugs. Death by pharmaceutical drugs is today the third biggest, greatest cause of death after cancer and heart disease. The third greatest cause of death is death by pharmaceutical prescribed drugs. So when you take these drugs, they create a problem. They create problems you never had. You start with something like a statin for your cholesterol, when you should have just changed your diet to a diet like Dr. Sebi and Dr. Jamaal recommends, a vegan diet, and your cholesterol problem is done. Instead, you took statin, and from statin, you end up with a high blood pressure because the statin isn't really fixing the problem. And so that blood vessel that's becoming clogged up with all this debris and all these, fatty deposits becomes smaller inside. So the pressure becomes higher. Then you get high blood pressure because the statins ain't working. So now you got statins, and now your doctor's going to put you on amlodipine, felidipine, ramipril, and all the other, what you call trade names. But none of them are addressing the cause of the problem. And so it's only a short time before you also get diabetes, because the drugs they're giving you are not meant to work. They're meant to suppress the problem. Like a baby crying for hunger, and instead of feeding the baby to the breast, you put a plaster over the baby's mouth. You haven't solved the problem. You're repressing the problem, and eventually you're going to get a bigger problem. Then you need more drugs, and so forth. So this is a problem like the PRS. Then you get reaction. The reaction is more disease, and that's what they want. More disease means more drugs for them. More drugs for them means more money for them. And so problem reaction is people saying, can't you come out with a better head painkiller? Can't you come out with something better to stop my acid, my esophageal reflux, gastric reflux? Can't you come out with something better that when you give me the amlodipine that make my heart start beating off time, give me something to make my heart beat in time. When I get constipated, give me something better than this lactulose. It's not working anymore. So the reaction is people start begging for more drugs, more money for them. Then they do what? They come with a solution. More drugs, faster, double action, and so problem, reaction, solution is used in that arena for, aeons of time, like unstoppable time, just going around perpetually, and so as long as someone's on that wheel, they will never get off. Just like this vaccine, once you start the vaccine, you have to keep taking the upgrade to it, because there's always going to be new variants. Like you get your mobile phone, and you've got to upgrade your mobile phone. Who right now has got a mobile phone that they had 15 or 20 years ago? You've upgraded that, and that's going to be just like your vaccine. No one is going to get a vaccine that doesn't need to be upgraded. Just like your flu vaccine, every year you get a new flu vaccine because the variant, the flu influenza virus is constantly transmutating.
Can I just come in here?
Of course you can, brother. Of course.
Because, brother, listen, brother, I love you, brother. Because, brother, are you listening to this doctor? I challenge you to find a doctor that's talking like this in the UK. Maybe in America, I don't know. But I know I live in the UK, brothers and sisters. And I know that no doctor's brave enough and courageous enough, especially from the black community, to be speaking the way this brother's speaking tonight. Lick shot, my king. Carry on.
Brother, thank you so much, Brother Andrew. Thank you so much. So, this PRS, problem, reaction, solution, Brother Andrew was talking about early on how they, perform. For example, they don't show you protests going on if it's not to their advantage. So we wouldn't know. They won't show you the drug diseases, the side effects that's causing diseases. Like, for example, it's on their website, the NHS. If you type in statins and memory issues, statins and type 2 diabetes, statins and dementia. If you type any of those words in with statins, you're then going to see that they are admitting that statins predispose individuals to type 2 diabetes. Question, can they say how many people have become diabetic type 2 by taking statins, even though they declared that it predisposed them to it. Have they done any double-blind, any crossover trials, anything to prove that this has created 25% of the type 2 diabetes we're seeing is caused by statins? They won't go there and show you the actual figures, because then you would start getting scared that, you know what, I started taking statins for a couple of years and then I got diabetes. Red flag. You could be one of those people, or you're pre-diabetic. Why? You became obese. Why did you get obesity? Because you were taking statins for fatty liver and cholesterol, and it didn't work. They didn't stop you from eating fatty foods. They didn't change your diet, like Dr. Jamaal was just talking about diet. Like I talk about diet, like Dr. Sebi talks about diet. Your doctors don't talk about diet. They're not trained to talk about diet. And that's not any kind of bad mind, judgment on them. I work with them. I interview them on my own show. Dr. Issa, one of our GPs, he came on my show and he said there's no medical school, probably two in England, that teaches their medical doctors nutrition. And it's only for about 2 days. That's the best ones do 2 days. The mediocre ones don't do no days of nutrition. Now, I want to bring it to this point and then change lanes, because I think it's smacking us in the face how they are, like we say in Jamaica, right under your nose, like right under your nose, the things going on and you can't smell it. So in a hospital, what I call these days horror hospital, if you look at each and every department with all the different disease, heart disease, bowel disease, skin disease, tropical diseases, why is it that the trolley that goes round to these sick people has all the foods on it, like every kind of food, eggs, milk, beef, pork, sausage, bacon, everything is on the trolley going on every ward with no discrimination? How is that possible? When one surgeon friend of mine, Sister Zarditu, had a threatening, that would have been in her colon, it would have been Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. This is where you get bleeding from the back passage. You can't drink milk, you can't eat meat, you can't eat wheat, because these things exacerbate the disease. Heart disease. How can you have a heart disease where they tell you got a coronary heart disease, and we've got to give you a bypass? Then we have to put something to make the blood pass because it's so clogged up. What's clogged it up? The fats, the cholesterol, what you're eating in the hospital on the wards, the fats and the cholesterol food. How is that a hospital? It's a rip-off right under your nose. If I tried, and I am trying, to put the first real nutritional department in any hospital, it'd probably be the first one in the world. Red flag. Nutrition alone heals diseases. That's why they won't do it. People are going to go in the hospital and come out cured if they start changing their diets in the hospital. What would be so bad if you went into hospital for whatever disease, God forbid, and by the time you leave, especially the longer you stay, like a 3-week stay in the hospital, by the time you leave, you're vegetarian or vegan, because the nutritionists and the health consultants and all of them, they could prove to you that changing your diet to this organic way of life would put you back in line, in orbit, in order, and get rid of your disorders. You come out of hospital saying, I became vegan, I became vegetarian in Lewisham Hospital. Big up Lewisham Hospital. You just saved another life, not just gave them a heart transplant, sent them back to eat the Trenton and the meat and the fats and the pork and the what. So
Dr. Walcott, as an historian listening to you, maybe you're explaining why they call it a hospital Because when you look at the word hospital, you go into the root etymological, it literally comes from the same word where you get hostage from. Yeah, literally. And I'm not even joking, brother. I'm not even playing with words.
Well, I call it the hospital. So we could say they hold these patients hostage in their
literally
hospital.
And when you look at the designs of these hospitals, especially the older ones, it literally is based and designed as a prison. You know what I'm trying to say? It's literally, actually, when you go in there, it actually looks like a prison. The corridors, or whatever, because that was the place where lecture held. But when you go back to ancient Kemet, we never had the word hospital. We had the word per ankh. Wow. And per ankh literally means the house of life. Per house, ankh is life. So it was a totally different root concept, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you. Exactly. And what we have today is that system running as your national health service. And you have to not just red flag it, but ask, how on earth is tax people's money paying for a system that's taking lives? How did they pay for? So that brings me to this point. I say to the NHS, when they say that Black people are the most vulnerable, and they dare say we are the people that have the most miscarriages and stuff like that, while on their books.
Oh gosh, go there, brother.
Okay. No, I'm about to lick shot. When you heard over the last year, like I did, that Black people, they're still saying it, are the most vulnerable, particularly a study was done to say, why are we the most vulnerable? Because we mostly suffer with type 2 diabetes, not the other underlying conditions, obviously, the cancers and the heart disease and so forth, but primarily those who suffer with type 2 diabetes, because it comes with obesity as well, which obesity comes with heart issues as well. Obesity comes with high blood pressure as well. So pretty much if you've got obesity, you've got type 2 diabetes, or vice versa, you get a whole host of other diseases that form a company or a family of diseases for you. Now, how on earth did your mother, my mother, and all your elders end up on these NHS books for 15, 20, and 30 years? Now they're in their 80s and they're having this loads of underlying health condition. Put a pin right there. Excuse me, if they were seen by myself as a private consultant for 30 years and they still got blood pressure, 30 years, and I'm giving them more blood pressure tablets now. They got 3 that they're on, but they got metformin for their diabetes. They're getting so much headaches from the drugs and the acid burn in their stomach, or omeprazole, and they come with 15, and I've seen even 20 different drugs. Saw some yesterday, saw some today, loads of drugs that people are on. How can you then hang out these same people under your care out in the coronavirus pandemic crisis to dry and say, excuse me, I'm so sorry, you guys that's been under our care, you're the most ones to be, you're the most threat? How, if you were caring for us, how could you be under my care, Dr. Mark, and then, after 30 years, you haven't taught us? Listen to the words. You haven't taught us, Dr. Mark, how to manage our blood pressure, for example. Blood pressure is not a disease. Blood pressure is a symptom of disease. So, for example, someone has CKD, chronic kidney disease. They could have blood pressure. Someone could have benign intracranial hypertension and it's hitting the retina, they're going to go blind. They could have blood. You could have a temperature that could give you blood pressure. You could get COVID-19. That could give you blood pressure. It's a symptom. It's such a common symptom in most diseases that they made a whole department for it and called it hypertension, and then made antihypertensive drugs for a symptom. What does that mean? It means you will never, ever cure that disease because it's not a disease, it's a symptom. You would have to go to the cause. How did they get high blood pressure? Oh, because their vessels are clogged up. Then you need to chelate them, chelation, and remove the plaque. Then get them to exercise, change their diet. Blood pressure, gone. With a few good herbal tonics, gone. But if you blow a balloon up and push it in the water of your bath and use your hand and hold it down for 5 minutes or 5 years, soon as you pull your hand up, the balloon's gonna spring back up. Well, that balloon is your blood pressure, right? That's why it's in the balloon under pressure. And your hand is the drug called a suppressant. It pushes it down, so your blood pressure now says 130/80. But it's a lie, because it's a suppressant making your blood pressure seem like it's under control. What's happening to your heart? Your heart then is under pressure. So most patients taking antihypertensive, amlodipine, ramipril, linosypril, Adalat, all of these people end up then having to, because it's been suppressed. If you suppress the water in your tap, it's gonna affect the whole water system. So if you suppress the pressure in your body, your heart, it backs up on your heart, and they end up giving them bisoprolol, digitalis, all sorts of other heart formularies and heart preparations, pharmaceutical preparations, because now the high blood pressure was suppressed. Now you got heart disease. Now you need something for the heart. You got eczema, you use this cream, which is steroidal topical cream, and it goes from the skin to your lungs. Why to your lungs? Because your lungs is also a breathing place like your skin. It's a respiratory organ, your skin. So when you suppress it on the skin, it goes to another brother organ, the lungs. So you get from eczema, the person gets asthma, because they use Betnovate, Dermovate, all the vates, yeah. And then it goes from the skin for a little bit, goes to the chest, so they get asthma. Then they give them the steroid, the same thing they put on the skin, but in a steroid pump form. And then they give them these steroid pumps, Ventolin, Becotide, and then it goes from your chest for a while, back to your skin, then you got eczema again. This was called the eczema asthma syndrome. Like a pendulum that's going eczema, take the steroidal cream, asthma, take the pump, eczema. And so Dr. Kent, Dr. Hahnemann, 400 years ago, saw these patterns and saw that these people had consciously set out to create disease like the problem, get the reaction so they could come up with these pharmaceutical drugs to keep suppressing diseases. And then they decided to tell everyone outrightly that we don't intend to cure disease. All the drugs in our BNF, British National Formularies, are suppressants. You know, when somebody say you're suppressing the information, it means they're lying. There's not one GP out there that can tell me or anyone that they've ever cured asthma with steroids, with the pumps. No one can claim that they've had their asthma cured or their high blood pressure cured with amlodipine. What do I mean by that? Where's the proof? You're still on it. You're still on amlodipine and loads of other lodipines with it. And you're on more than the breath pump now. You still can't breathe. You realize it's not curing you. So what you've decided to do is use it only when you get an attack. So you put it down because you know you ain't cured. Well, you wouldn't go to Jamaal and have him do that to you for 30 years. You certainly wouldn't come to me and have me do that to you for 30 years. And then when the pandemic comes, I tell you that you know your lung condition that I've been treating for 30 years, you are vulnerable. I mean, red flag, and how bloody dare you then point to me, your patient that's been under your care, taking all your drugs you told me would help me. Now you tell me I'm the most vulnerable and point at me as though the Black American, Afro-American, communities don't want to take the vaccine and they don't want to, we have reason to not believe you. That the past has not proven you to be sincere in your care. And so, as we say, once bitten, twice smitten. We shouldn't go back and remember, the path that took us into suffering we should go back and remember the same name of this very Zoom is I am. And I am means you have to return to source. You have to return to the origin, whether it's medicine, whether it's education.
Come on now, doctor. Come on now, doctor.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on, sir. I am means for us to return to get the real, solution to our problems. The predicament we found ourselves in is more than just having an organic problem. If you have an organic problem, it means nature gave it to you, like a cough. But if you get a cough as a side effect from a drug, nature didn't give it to you. So guess what? Nature also cannot fix it. You got to stop the artificial, stimuli, and then get to natural stimuli, and then you can cure things. And that's why Dr. Jamaal and myself, we've discussed this till our knuckles are sore with, agreement. And so we came up with a saying in Bahamas. We did a stream, and I'll never forget it. It was called, "You don't have to be sick." Right, Jamaal? You don't have to be sick. You don't have to have diabetes, type 1 or type 2. Jamaal's
That's right, Dr. Ma. Right, very good.
Absolutely. You don't have to be sick. They give you things like insulin and tell you it's what's your condition? Diabetes, insulin dependent. What do you mean? Do you think if you came to see me and I told you I'm giving you miracle tonic you got a disease which is miracle tonic dependent? Watch me. I'm going to say it again. Your disease is you've got miracle tonic dependency. That's what the disease is called. Diabetes, miracle tonic dependency. And so you're going to have to stay on my miracle tonic for life. Pure red flags going off. Right? They've given you something called insulin-dependent disease, diabetes, mellitus, insulin-dependent. Hello, red flag, insulin-dependent. You're now a dependent on this drug. You are their favorite person. You're never going to come off it for life. Their questions around their round table is, how can we do this to everybody? Absolutely everybody. And you sit there and think, Dr. Mark, you're too extreme. Well, check me out. Don't you see this pandemic with the vaccination is exactly that one? How can we do this to everybody? Now we don't have to they don't even have to be sick. We need to get all of them. And so that brings me to this I am axiom. I am. In Sanskrit, the word for I am is ahang. Ahang. The word ahang is the most misleading word there is in existence. Ahang. A-H-A-M. You look it up in Google. Ahang in Sanskrit means I am.
Come on, Dr. Walcott, man.
Ahang means I am. It's the biggest illusory word in existence. Why? Because when you put whatever you like after the word I am, you can fool yourself by saying, I am 6'1". Well, that's a lie. Your spirit ain't got no measurement. I am British, and you're not, because you're actually African. You can lie though and say, I am. I am this body that you look at. I am this. That's the biggest illusion that exists. That's one's called ahang mameti. Means I am this body. Mameti, M-A-M-E-T-I. Ahang mameti. I am this body. You see, when you start saying that, it's like when the baby gets slapped on the bum coming out the mom's womb and it wakes up to this wicked world. You then wake up to the wicked world of ahang mameti. I am this body. Therefore, everything attached to this body is what? Mine. Here comes the bigger illusion. Mine means possessiveness. My wife, my car, my house, my this, my that, my. And so far, everybody dies and leave all the things they call theirs. Big lie. So ahang is a deluding, a very misleading word unless You actually return Sankofa, wake up to who you really are. So here we go. The other words that are attached to the word I am, if you break them down, I-A-M, is inner awareness meditation. Inner awareness meditation, I-A-M, I am. Now the word I indicates God, because God is the original I. That's the only way that you could call yourself I.
Dr. Walcott, please take your time with the
on,
brother, please, man. You're shooting shots now, man.
Brother Andrew, you've known me for over 30 years now, bro. And you said it earlier on, you know, I don't mince. I'm not mincing. It's not that time. The gloves are off. There's a pandemic crisis. I'm glad I'm still alive that I can lick shot. So I'm gonna
fire.
So here we go. So I am also in terms of discipline, because as a philosophy, I am really means I am a particle of the Most High, created in his own image, none less than him, just a minuscule of him. I am a godlet, if you like, a godling, right? The Son of God, all of us, no male, no female, just a particle of God's spirit called Atma. That's called Atma. This is where they robbed everyone by giving them a religious code instead of telling them, you know what? Numbers don't lie. Because if I hold my one finger up and say, I want just that, everywhere in the world, they know you want just one thing. There's no confusion. But if I start calling the thing a different name and then people need to know the language, it can get confusing. The Most High, when looked at without prejudice, has unlimited names and can be called in any field, any language, any race, however they feel to express that greatness. Greatness in Swahili and greatness in English is greatness. So when we say I am, the origin of I am is that you are and I am a part of that divine wealth of reality and divine spirit. We're part of that. We should not be demoralized by the physical body we have, that we are this. That's the biggest illusion. So I am, in its origin, means we all belong to source. We all come from a divine source. Where they've taken it is made you a corporate entity. So when you look at your name and it says Mark Walcott, that's what I have become when I say I am, when you're in their corporation. Far from spirit, far from Atma, very far from what you truly are. And as long as you keep feeding that cosmetic feature of their, whether it's their pharmaceutical drugs, their clothes industry, their makeup industry, and I'm not saying you can't wear makeup and have fashion, by far the opposite. Definitely have fashion, definitely wear makeup, because we invented that in Africa anyway. All the nose piercing, the tattoos, the hairdos, the wigs, the lot. We done all that in Africa aeons ago. And so don't be shy to do those things. Don't let them make you feel bad to do those things. It's the consciousness with which you do it. If you do it like I am this vehicle, then you do it in ignorance and you do it to die, because ignorance is not bliss, ignorance is death. Imagine if while you driving your car, you unfortunately hit another car or it hits you, and the person comes out running and shaking their arms in the air and they say, you just hit me, you just hit me. No, brethren, I just hit your car. But hear the term, you just hit me. When we truly believe we are these physical bodies, the whole I am has gone astray to something you are not. And that's the same thing happening to us from the spirit, from the divine misconstruence, from the divine, what they call auto-suggestion of something else, something you're not, I'm, English, I'm African, I'm American. The Americans have the biggest one, and this one. You ask a black man in America where he's from, he says, I'm American. I'm American. Right? This I am word, I am, is a word that allows people to become misled, to become first mislead themselves, because the false ego, is God that gave you the freedom that you could say something that you're not. Otherwise, we couldn't even lie and call ourselves something we're not. But that permissive will allow us to do that. And until you reclaim yourself, and to do that in these days, you can't reclaim your spirit, your soul, yourself without going in to where you exist. You don't exist in your fingertips. If I ask someone, where's the mind? They say it's in here. But actually the mind is in every single cell of your body, even down in your little pinkies. The mind is there. Mind is permeating the entire body. Therefore, question, where is the soul? People say it's in the heart. But the soul is permeating the entire body, like the mind, with consciousness. All of you is filled completely with consciousness. And that is the true I am. When you function from there, you are functioning in no time. It's in now time. Always in the present, the eternal living present. Every other time is an illusion. The past is gone, no longer here. The future hasn't come. The now is with you, always. The watch that you use and the time that they give you is an illusion. You're always in now time. And those of you who want to read more in that, read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. The Power of Now. It will change your life. You'll never be the same. Most of us spend our lives thinking about the past. The guy that held us down and raped us, the guy that physically, mentally abused us. We remember that. We bring that back into existence, and we feed it until it becomes a monster. We do that because we can refer to a time in the past. If God made it that you couldn't make reference to past time, would be healthier people. You would never be able to refer to the things that hurt you, the grievances. You'd be healthier people. If we simply lived in the now, we'd get rid of loads of diseases. Most of the diseases we're carrying are delusions. Why? You think you're this body. That is the biggest delusion. And that will get you into lots of healthy mishaps and unhealthy problems because you're not truly at ease. When one's truly at ease is when you truly know yourself. Only then you can truly be at ease. Otherwise, you're just going along to get along. So when you're truly at ease with yourself, like Jamaal can tell you, going through the fire of waking up and coming forth out of the fire, out of the mundane and rising up to your higher self, getting rid of your lower aspects of your own personality. You got these low ways, these low personality traits. It's about self-mastery. That's self-realization. That's waking up to your true identity. And you can do that by returning to your ancestors and how they did that. You can't do it through encyclopedias and having another PhD. But if you go back to your ancestors and see what they did to wake up their I am, you will see that every part of our antiquity refers to light, refers to numbers, refers to the lion, like Brother Andrew said, the lion, all symbolic things, the pyramids, all symbolic things, and listen to this, all symbolic things, every single one of them so colossal. Why colossal? Why did they make them so big? Because you can make a symbol that's small and it's still powerful, but they made it so big because they wanted you to know that these things we've made will outlive your lives that you value so much as it. Life is eternal, the eternal life. But we give value to so many things that we will die and leave them. So they thought, you know what? How about we make something so colossal that when you look at it, it makes you feel so insignificant, it might just wake you up and say, you know something? There's got to be more to life than buildings. Because look at this one. How do you fathom this? And maybe you just throw in the white towel and say, that's it. I am divine. I got to be divine. Because this building can't outlive my spirit, but it will outlive my body. And I think they were teaching us that metaphysics. So hopefully we make the correlation between matter and realize this physical body belongs to matter, and that your divine portion belongs to something that's completely different, that's somewhere else, that's not here. This isn't home. Home is somewhere where your divine spirit have no needs, no wants, no money, nothing but divine love. And so that is the I am. That's the I am that we are searching for, looking for it through money, through relationships, through everything. Even the little ants you see moving is moving, trying to find happiness and love. Every action of every living creature, including the microbes, even the coronavirus, is trying to find happiness, trying to find life so that it can experience happiness. Nothing wants to live and experience anything else but happiness. But happiness belongs to that I am. You are already a happy particle. As soon as you tune into it, you will discover that all your misery was things that you attach to your physical body. And that's why diseases are here to teach us that disease is delusion and awareness is cure. Awareness is cure, not just medicine. Awareness is cure. Once you expand to understand something, you can never shrink and understand that again. Once you see the thing, you can't unsee the thing. And that's the meaning of conscious expansion, expansion of consciousness. And that's what we're doing in life. When we say life is a journey, and we're all on a journey, you know, we're spirits in a physical being, a physical body, having a material experience. I want to turn that around. That's not completely true, even though it's such a common statement. We are divine beings in a physical body, in a physical world, meant to have a divine experience. We're meant to be having a divine experience, but we can't even get past the problems of the base of our, what you call the hierarchy of needs. You know, they call this the hierarchy of needs. And the things that's at the base of this pyramid are things like, I need some clothes to wear. I need some money to buy my drugs. I need some money to buy my medicines. I need some money to go see Dr. Mark. I need some money to fill my fridge. I need some money to fill my belly to get my hair done, to change my teeth. This forms the foundation of the hierarchy, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. But the truth is, until we solve some of the basic I am problems, basic problems on that hierarchy of needs, what's at the top of that pinnacle of the hierarchy of needs is self-actualization. That's what he termed it. These are so-called social scientists. He termed the pinnacle of the ladder of life, they call it, you know, that the top of that pinnacle of Maslow's laws of needs. He weren't talking about me and you're talking about everybody. Everybody have needs and there's laws to it. So the pinnacle is called self-actualization. Here's the problem. You will never get there to the pinnacle as long as you need a cup of tea, shoes to put on your foot, a fridge to keep your food cold, and some fire to warm up some food and put in your belly. These are some basic things. So when you see Brother Andrew talking and sharing about, you know, your original blackness, and when I say blackness, nothing to really do with color as such, to be honest with you, because there's so much a spectrum of brown, lighter brown, black, and bleak, right? So we're talking about the whole spectrum of all those color codes. You understand me? And say this, it's not really something so much to do with color. When Brother Andrew is teaching these things, it's more to do with Sankofa, our modalities, our cultural modalities. So that when you think of food, it's not black food, is food that worked for you and your ancestors. I don't care what color they were. Some of them were black, some of them were brown, some of them look Indian, some of them look Arawak, some of them look lighter brown, some of them look close to the Caucasians. They all come from our people. And it's about food that did work for us. It's about a romance and love that work for relationships and how we make our education work for us, that the whole meta system of our society is interlocked with everything, working with everything. This society has made it that nothing works with nothing. Your religion doesn't work with your diet don't work with your health and your diet and your religion don't work with your education. Even the education you get is talking against your religion. Both of them going against your diet. It's a complete and utter chaos, and that's what they want, because then they can give you corporation wisdom. You can attend Boots and get a Boots degree. You can attend Sainsbury's and get a Sainsbury's degree. They make you feel so important because you become slaves of the corporation. And you look at a man like Brother Andrew and ready to start saying, oh, he talk about black people and he's such a racist, he don't like white people. And you know, he's talking so big, like we did everything. We made pyramids and we got the big doctors and we did all this stuff. Don't they think white people did stuff as well? Why do they have to be so one-sided? Hear the joke. We're not even saying that they haven't done anything. It's just when we've taken a closer look at it, what they've done is mostly destructive. And call a spade, or don't call nothing, nothing. Call a spade, a spade. If I see that black people had gone into other people's countries, rape them, take their people, bring it back to their countries, take their goods and do stuff with them, consume them and give them their religion, I would say to black people, you ain't much better, so don't talk. I would say that. I look at my old Jamaican people and they come on radio and try to talk to me about them Jamaica people and black people who sell out. Had one brother come on my show and talk about that. I said, no, hold on, 1 minute. The biggest sellout among us is Jamaicans. You understand me? Biggest. And I'm Jamaican. Big sellout. Why? A German can go back to Germany and say, I am. I am. Here it is. I am German. Right? A Scottish can go back to Scotland and say, I am Scottish. A Chinese can go back to China and say, I am Chinese. Do you see how the word I am give people belonging? I told you that belonging really belonged to the Most High. You belong to him. That's your original belonging. I am the servant of the Most High, a particle. But when it comes to the Maslow's baseline thing, you can't start talking like that when you need to walk on the ground, walk in a house, have a fridge. You have to start thinking like Brother Andrew. If we're going to have to live in a world where everybody ain't walking around saying, I'm a particle of God, you're going to have to start saying, I am German, I am Scottish, I am black, I am white. It has to, because of defining one's belonging. It has to come to that. Hear what we've done. Hear what we've done. We've taken everything that belongs to us as a belonging, and we've traded it in and started to take on another, like a dog starting to meow and eat cat food. And I really mean it, just no different to that extreme. And so we've become like bounty bars. We are completely black on the outside, but we're so Caucasianized. You hear the word I've used? We're Caucasianized on the inside. I see it all the time. And it needs antidoting. And you can antidote this disease and disorder of personal distortment, because your identity of I am is distorted. You can solve it and antidote it by returning to your cultural modalities. How did you eat back then? How did your thousands and thousands of years ago your ancestors eat? Yeah? There wasn't eating meat on a fridge that's been there for 2, 3, 4, 5 years with some injection of antibiotics in it. They would kill the goat and eat it. But after a few days, the families would devour that. That's gone. And everything is outside of our traditional modalities, so we've gone astray. And as soon as we return, like that film says, Brother Andrew love his movies because they all put it in the movies for us to see if you have the eyes to see and hear if you have the ears to hear. And so you will see in these movies like Get Out, that movie called Get Out. They're showing you that they're hypnotizing you. While they're taking your brain, you see the white man, the white people in the home, they've got black brains inside of them. So even the black people are walking around in the home, they got the white people inside of them. That's the bounty bar. That's what they're making with this pendulum, hypnotizing all our people and seducing them into their medicine, into their media, the 4 M's, medicine, media, monetary, and military. You ever seen a black man that's gone in the military and see that how proud that is? He feels that he's gone along to get along to the extreme till he's fighting for them. Feels power. And unfortunately, this is how we've now become in terms of I am. I am what they want me to be. If they want me to be sick, I am taking their NHS medicines. And I feel scared when I hear Brother Andrew and Dr. Mark speak about some natural, organic, you know, the indigenous way that Brother Jamaal, when I went to see Brother Jamaal, he gave me some tonics. I said to him, hold on, Jamaal, what's your preservative in these bottles? He said, there's no preservatives. I said, what do you mean? You've got to have some shelf life. He said, these things, man, if they don't drink it, it's going to finish. It's going to go off. I said, there's no one in the world that makes tonics that don't have some preservatives so they can make more money. This brother's making tonics. If you get Kalawala, that's it. That's Kalawala. If he give you a tonic, that's all that's in the bottle. He juice the herbs, then put it in the bottle, and that's it. No one makes medicines like that today because you wouldn't make much money. So Brother Jamaal, he brought CMOS to Dr. Sebi, and most people don't know this. Most people, Dr. Sebi taught Jamaal Moncool. I heard Dr. Sebi say, he says, Jamaal is the first person to teach me about CMOS. Jamaal taught me. So I want to bring this to the I am, to my brother, again, Tyrone, and I'm going to end here. Tyrone started studying the I am philosophy, maybe about 20 or maybe 30 years now. It's a long time he's been going. And that I am philosophy took him to India, inner awareness meditation. When I went to Bahamas, I started to teach Jamaal. And when he heard it, he's like, wow, this sounds like my teacher. I got a teacher, man. He teaches me spiritual stuff. So I gave him a book, and he took the book to the teacher. The teacher saw the book and heard the stuff I was studying, and Jamaal will tell you the rest of the story. He came back to me and said, listen, man, my teacher said, man, I shouldn't let you off the island unless you come and see him. He wants to meet you. Somehow we had hurricanes and stuff. I actually left. I didn't get to see him, but we spoke on the phone, and he said, that's it. You know, you're my teacher, because the study of I am and Sankhya and the elements is outside of time, it's outside of religion, it's science, it's not religion, it's science. You know, no one soul is a Christian soul, Muslim spirit. You know, there's no Muslim divine world for just Muslims, a divine world for just Christians. There's no apartheid in the divine world. There's no apartheid. There's a Christian section, there's the Muslim section, there's a Nation of Islam section, there's a Jewish section, and there's the unbeliever section downstairs. It's a divine world where everybody in the garden has pollinated with the Most High, everyone. So I leave you with that,
wow,
ideology of I am.
I am.
All of us are I am. In that garden of the divine, the Most High.
Oh, look at Sister Clarence already clapping. Brothers and sisters, you heard for yourself. This is a doctor. Are you listening to me? Now you understand why we call him the conscious doctor. He could stand on any platform and teach like this. Come on, brothers and sisters. Show the brothers. Sure, I don't have to tell you. I don't have to tell you.
Brother Andrew.
Took you on to teach, Clarion.
Brother Andrew, the first time I saw Dr. Mark, I thought he was a doctor of medicine. But my God, as a Jamaican, you don't know how I feel for here and next Jamaican. I talk up the things them, right? Because As a Jamaican, let me go back into my British accent now. I don't want the people to lose. Listen, as a Jamaican, we all know, say, I grew up in Trenchtown. In the living room was a calendar on the wall with a white man, blonde hair, blue-eyed, right? We print those calendars every year for Christmas. That's our tradition in Jamaica. I don't know about you, Brother Andrew, in the UK, but that's what we do.
Real thing.
Yes. And they tell you that is Jesus. And you grow up with this thing being put in your head. Jesus is coming. Jesus is coming to save you. Jesus is coming back. Jesus is coming back in the year 2000. Jesus, and guess what? This man never come back.
No.
And this man never come help me. If people who look like Brother Andrew and Brother Mark, me say, coming to help me. Right? And Jesus said in the scripture, if you are going to tell me you love God who you cannot see, but me who they here with you in the flesh and blood, you cannot believe what Brother Mark is telling you about your health. I experienced it because my husband left me with 2 children in 2018 from diabetes. Only 4 years older than me, a young man in his early 40s. And he would never take a piece of aloe vera put in his mouth. He would never take a piece of herb. He went to the doctor, and whatever pill the doctor gave him, that's what he took. And our people believe in this idea of this white man, white establishment. Bill Gates is coming to save me. But if I tell you something because my face look like your face, right? You can't believe what me say because me not have the intelligence of the white man. Bill Gates sitting in a room with cameras who don't know nothing about medicine. He knows about computer chips, though. He knows a lot about computer chips. And the satellites who are going to be put, that's going to be picking up those chips when they pump those chips into our bodies, because they're now saying, oh, we're going to do one injection and then maybe 2 and 3. But guess what? We're going to have a chip installed in your body to tell you if the virus is around you. A chip now. They're coming out with it. They're not hiding it anymore.
Sister, we're going to have to move on because of time. I know the spirit is high. The spirit is high. But that's what Dr. Walcott does.
That's what he does.
Sister I'm telling you, Sister Clarion, we are so thankful that you're in Jamaica. Wow. You're in Jamaica, sister, and I want you to spread the word in Jamaica. Because I know Jamaica's safe when I see sisters like you in the land there, beloved. Dr. Walcott, you spoke several languages today. You wore many hats tonight. And brother, I just pray. I know Sister Jarita's got probably a whole heap of questions, which we can't even have time to do tonight now. People have been texting me all day today.
Man, I'm ready for the questions, man. I love the questions.
But brother,
where's Jamaal? Where's Jamaal? Oh my God. Where's Jamaal?
But brother, is it possible, brother? Because we got Brother Tarun waiting in the background, okay? And he's going to be giving a 15-minute breathing exercise class free of charge, and I thank the brother for that, big time. He's going to be coming on in a second. But Dr. Walcott, you dropped some mega weight bombs tonight, brother. I mean, I know you know I have DP weight, but you dropped some. I think one of the sisters put down, I am the child of the one after you finish speaking. I am a child of the one.
Jarita's got some questions, man. She's itching.
I know she's buzzing with questions, but brother,
she was writing stuff down. I wanted to see what she want to. But
okay, what I'm gonna do, brother. What I'm gonna do, Jarita, because I got our brother Tarun waiting in the background very patiently. What I'm gonna do, brothers and sisters, there's still 500 of us still on the platform. You lot are crazy when it comes to knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
Yeah, there's some people.
I don't like ending my meetings late. I'll be honest with you. I don't like ending my meetings late. But I want to bring in Brother Tarun in a second. And then if you like, after Brother Tarun, we could do 10 minutes where Jarita's going to fire some questions, Doctor, at you. If you could answer as many as you can within 10 minutes. So that means short, quick answers, so she can get on to the next one, because we've got a whole heap of them. So brothers and sisters, if you would like Dr. Walcott to do 10 minutes questions and answers Q&A, let me see you say yes in the platform, because I'm doing it based on you 500 staying in tune with our brother. Let me know whether we can do some questions and answers after Brother Tarun does his breathing exercise to us, because this brother's a god on this platform, man. And I really want to bring him on tonight, because as we're speaking, you see the brother's in meditation mode. You know what I'm saying? So let's do this. So if you have to go, we thank you and we see you next week. But if you can stay on, brothers and sisters, Jarita is itching. Yeah, she's in gangster mode. Okay. And Dr. Walcott is saying, you know what? If you're bad, you're bad. Come with them questions. Okay. So just before Dr. Brother Tarun comes in, and I'm excited about this. You know, he's giving us a freebie here. I want to remind all of you of what's happening. I'll do this in a few seconds, because Brother Tarun's coming on Hidden Truth. Don't forget, every single Friday, brothers and sisters, myself, I'm a guest. I'm an honored guest on Dr. Walcott's show every single Friday on Conscious FM. He blows it up for about 4 hours, if I'm correct.
5.
Maybe Bubba can correct me if I'm wrong.
5 hours.
He blows up uncut.
5
4
hours.
to 5 hours.
5
every
hours.
single Friday. You better find his little brother Andrew Mohammed with him. Doing a little section on history. And brothers and sisters, who is this? Does anyone know? If you're bad, don't talk to me. Who is this man? Who is the brother? Who is this brother? I'll give you 5 seconds. If you're a bad man, oh gosh, Jim Kelly. That's right, Jim Kelly, brothers and sisters. And you see Jim Kelly there with Muhammad Ali. Brothers and sisters, because there was a consciousness. And brothers and sisters, many of you don't know this, but this Sunday, Brother Andrew Mohammed is linking up with Tony Warner of Black History Studies. Black History Walks. Myself and Tony Warner, we're going to be doing a double 1-2 karate chop. And it's going to be Jim Kelly, Kung Fu, and the civil rights. Yes, this is going to be mad. I'm going to challenge all of you that come on the platform. Brother Andrew, I'm going to tell you the real home of martial arts. I'm going to take you on a journey from ancient Kemet right through to India, from India into China, from China into Japan. And I'm going to prove to you, brothers and sisters, that the home of martial arts is no other than you and I, the original man, the African, the black man, the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, gods of the universe. So brothers and sisters, on Sunday, 3 p.m., join me and Tony Warner for Kung Fu. I've just now, if you look in the chat, in the chat room, I've just put the link there. Hit that link, go to Eventbrite, and you see all the details. Yeah, Jarita, if you can copy that link, if you can, my queen, because you're better than me at doing it. The link is there, brothers and sisters. This Sunday, 3 p.m., join the Investigator, and don't forget on Friday night, Brother Andrew Mohammed is going to be on my Jack Jones by myself, dealing with the DMX Uncut. Sorry, I'm going to be with Sister Veronica. And next week, we got Reverend Shock from the USA, because I can't have Dr. Walcott come and then bring on some lamb the next week. I can't bring on some mushiness, some softness. I can't, not after Dr. Walcott. Yeah? So brothers and sisters, next week on Hidden Truth, remapping the African mind. So brothers and sisters, I stop right there. Brother Tarun, you've been so patient tonight, my king, and you followed 2 gods on the platform. Brother Tarun, thank you, and I promise you your 15 minutes, brother. And it's you're doing it as a beautiful gift for the attendees tonight that can find out more details. Brother, I shut my mouth. I hand over to you, my king.
Well, thank you all for waiting patiently. First, I have to say much big up to Morris the Connector. What a firing energy. Just got the whole thing going. Absolutely loved it. Jamaal, it's a beautiful sight to see you. I haven't seen you in years. I don't know if you're still on board, but what a beautiful pleasure. And again, Dr. Mark, what a fabulous speech. He has been such a influential part of my life. I've been studying with him for over 20 years, and he's always been pushing me. Says, come on, Taryn, you've got to get on the spiritual path of sharing the knowledge that you've accumulated. And it's through him that, through this passion, that I've actually decided to embrace a bigger journey of giving back to the community as a whole. You know, much aspects of many of the topics that we've kind of crossed today. The first thing that Morris said, he said, you know, I thank God that I can breathe today. And so it's a good thing that we're talking about this whole breath of life meditation. Jamaal said, you know, you can eat, you can live without food for 3 weeks or so forth, but you can't live without air for 3 minutes. You know, Dr. Mark, he was talking about the spirit in man, the I am, you know, and it's so easy to forget the natural thing that we've all been given from birth, breath itself, to even pay attention to the quality of breathing that we give to ourselves. It's like, it's gone completely out of our minds. And what I want to share with you today is some breathing techniques that focuses on the electricity that's in the breath, the prana. It's a Sanskrit word. I've got a PDF here that I've created. I wonder if I've got the ability to share screen.
You can if you want to, King.
Right, so I'm just gonna quickly just go through some quick basic things.
You got 10 minutes, King. 5
Yeah.
minutes is gone already, so fire.
So this I'm gonna make available for everybody in the room. So this is just a quick overview to see how deep we're gonna be looking at this thing. Prana, what it means. There's a whole list of bits of information for you to just go through and see. At the end of the PDF, you will see there's a link here that allows you to come to the Zoom meeting that I have on a Sunday, and you can join in on the exercises that we do. We'll be doing a much more lengthier one. Today, we're just going to be doing a short one that will be based over a period of 5 to 10 minutes. And basically, if we just go through, I'm going to speak to you about the process of the exercise. Everyone, I want to be seated nice and comfortable and in your chair and have your spine nice and straight and relaxed. And I will be telling you to take deep breaths. When I say breathe in, you take a deep breath and you feel your entire being all the way down to your toes. You feel your entire being, your lungs, right? You start with your diaphragm, your chest, and feel your entire being. We're going to do 3 cycles. The first cycle will be 18, the next one will be 27, and the last one will be 36. On the last breath of each cycle, I will tell you to take a deep breath, and you exhale, and you hold. You do not breathe in. You sustain from breathing in. And we will hold in that position for a period of 25 to 30 seconds. And then we will then take a deep breath in and hold. And then we will hold that breath for a period of 15 to 20 seconds. And then we will exhale. And we will do 3 rounds of this. Upon the 3rd round, you're going to feel a tingling in your body. You're going to feel a sensation. This is like the presence of the prana shakti coming alive in you. You're going to feel a certain type of awareness as a connectivity within yourself. You're going to feel your mind come to peace. You're going to feel a lot of ease. You're going to start to increase the metabolic structure. You're going to start increasing the healing structure of your inner being. So without further ado, because we don't have a lot of time, I really want you to enjoy this pranic exercise. So we're going to dive straight into it. So with me from the beginning. So as I say, breathe in. Just let the air fall out. Breathe in. Don't blow the air out, just let it fall out. Breathe in. All the way to your toes. Breathe in. Fill your entire being with air. Breathe in. The air is free. Breathe in. Nice and deep, all the way to your toes. Breathe in. Breathe in. Nice and deep. Breathe in. Breathe in. Fill your entire being. That's good. That's 10. Breathe in. Nice and deep. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. 3 more left. Breathe in. Sorry, that's 15. Breathe in. 16. Breathe in. 17. Last one. Deep breath. Breathe out, exhale, and hold. Just relax. Have your shoulders at ease. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in and hold. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Now we'll begin the round of 27. Deep breath in. Deep breath in. Feel your entire being. Breathe in. All the way down to your toes. Breathe in. Nice and strong. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. Feel your entire being. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. That's our first 10. Breathe in. Breathe in. Nice and strong. Breathe in. This is Prana Shakti. Breathe in. You're enlivening your entire being. Breathe in. Nice and deep. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. That's good. Breathe in. Nice and strong. Breathe in. That's 20. Breathe in. All the way to your toes. Breathe in. Nice and strong. 5 left. Breathe in. Breathe in. Nice and strong. Breathe in. 2 left. Breathe in. Nice big breath. Breathe in. Relax and hold. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Now we'll do our final round of 36. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. Nice and deep. Breathe in. Nice and strong. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. That's our first 10. Breathe in. Feel your entire brain all the way to your toes. Breathe in. Nice and deep. Breathe in. Feel the entire being. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. Nice and strong. Breathe in. Just power your breathing. Breathe in. Breathe in. That's 20. Breathe in. Nice and strong. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. You're empowering your entire being. Breathe in. Nice and strong. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. Nice and strong. Breathe in. Breathe in. That's 30. Breathe in. 5 more left. Breathe in. Nice and strong. Breathe in. All the way to your toes. Breathe in. Breathe in. Last one. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax and hold. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in and hold. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. So now we're just going to relax in this mode just for a minute. And when you feel the need to breathe, just take a nice deep breath and exhale. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Hope that you all enjoyed that wonderful experience. And again, if you'd love to come to the classes that I do, I'm doing introductory lessons for the next month. It's free for you to come along. If you'd love to come and join in and get more deeper into these meditations and connect with the you that is within, you are free and welcome. The message, I'll leave a message in the chat group for the link also, and to give yourself the WhatsApp group number is on there for anyone that would love to come onto the WhatsApp group and get more information and the PDF.
Brothers and sisters, what a session. I mean, I dealt it, I shared it, I was doing it myself. My body feels like it's just, there's a buzz, there's a vibration going right through my body. And I'm not just saying it. I can feel the energy rushing through my body. Brother Tarun, you kept nearly, we're still nearly 500 strong on this platform, brother. You kept us, brother. You educated us, brother. Dr. Walcott, brother, to do something like that and keep 500 people still on the platform, that was amazing. Everyone's saying thank you, beautiful. Someone saying tingling for true. Paulette Harris says thank you so much, brother Tarun. Amazing, brother Tarun. That's Cat George. Yvonne Daly's just giving you ones. Janine Edwards is saying for real. Sister Joyce is saying Asante, brother. Wow, brother. Make sure we got your details down. And brothers and sisters, would you like this brother to come back again? Because you saw that he's got a PowerPoint. I'm intrigued to read, because he didn't really, I felt bad when he just had to rush through it and not go through it. Would you like this brother back maybe even next week for 15 minutes just to run through the PowerPoint to teach us more about our breathing? Let me know in the chat room, brothers and sisters. Would you like Brother Tarun to come back to do his PowerPoint? Because he done a fantastic class, free of charge, but I'm intrigued to know more about the science of the breath. So let me know if you'd like him to come back, and we'll fit him in so he can just do his PowerPoint and educate us on the realms of returning back to the science of I am. Jurita, Dr. Walcott, you're like my Batman and Robin. You're like my X-Men. You're like Professor X and Jean Grey. I'm gonna give you 10 minutes, man. Doctor, the challenge is on you. Can you answer each question as brief as you can, but giving knowledge? But if they want further details, obviously they're gonna have to get a consultation with you. Okay. So don't feel you got to answer it all in detail. Okay. Because we want to try and get us through as many questions as possible and not hang on one of them.
Let's do it.
So, Doctor, I'm asking you to dig deep into your into your ancestral history and knowledge and pathways. Jurita, you're just gangster. Throw the questions at her. Throw the questions at him, sister.
Okay, so let's go. My head's still spinning, so
10 minutes.
It's still buzzing. One of the questions that came from Sandra actually was, you were speaking about what is I am, but she wanted to know what is I am to you, and I thought that would be sort of a good opener.
To me, what I am means to me.
Yes.
I'm going to keep it short, like Brother Andrew said. I am a godling, like a God speck, like a part of God, like a blazing fire, and there is like a flame from the fire, but you're part of the fire. When it says, I and the Father are one, we are all one with the Father. I am an aspect of the Most High, and so are you, and so is everyone else.
Lovely.
What an answer. See, that's how I like it. Carry on, man. We're going to do this tonight.
You said that you gave a book to Dr. Jamaal. Asking what that book was.
Oh, wow.
It sounds like it's a top secret.
Oh, wow. Okay, so the name of the book is Bhagavad Gita. It's over 5,000 years old. It was spoken 5,000 years old. Bhagavad Gita, BHAGAVADGITA, Bhagavad Gita.
Okay. Lovely. And then we've got a few questions again about different ailments. So I don't know, but I will start off with diabetes. Somebody asked about a cure or ways to reverse diabetes. What kind of plants, herbs?
Yeah, I've been thinking about how to answer anybody who asks that question. And the thing is, for everyone, it's different because their status of health is different. But there are some common denominators which every diabetic will and should do if they want to get around this problem. One is dietary change, and that should be a vegetarian, vegan, or flexitarian, which is flexing between both vegan and vegetarian as it feels comfortable to make the crossover. And exercise, dietary protocols and exercise, those are two things. If you want to get through diabetes, it's an absolute must. Those two must be there, dietary and exercise. And the third one would be the herbal natural products that's used to help keep the blood sugar down. And as Jamaal rightly said, it's chromium. Chromium is one of the things that would help all diabetics. Those on insulin, don't, because we need to measure your insulin with all the other stuff. It's a bit, complex. But type 2 diabetics, chromium. Get some chromium picolinate. Chromium picolinate, CHROMIUM picolinate, PICOLINATE.
I'm going to take executive privilege here right now. A sister he did text me earlier on. I've got a whole lot of questions, but Dorita, it's still yours, okay? But one of the questions was young ladies that have been on the pill for a long time. How do they restore their body in preparation for pregnancy?
It needs to come off the pill for at least 5 years, because there's now evidence showing that if you're on the pill for like 5 or 10 years, it can actually stop you getting pregnant. It makes your hormones go so upside down because you've been tricking your body that you are pregnant. You've been tricking the body that you are pregnant for all that time. That's why you haven't fallen pregnant. That's what the contraception does. And so you have to stop your body being tricked to get your body back in harmony, back in center with harmony with nature, and then it will do it naturally. Come off foods that are artificial and go for whole food, vegan food, and look at the timing of when you have sex. You don't have sex for the first few days after your period. You wait for 10 to 14 days. When you're ovulating, that's when you go for the baby. Otherwise, you're pouring water on grass that doesn't have no seeds. And in a time when there's no germination to take place, the seed comes down from the mother's ovaries, the egg comes down, and then the sperm goes and waters that around day 14, halfway through when the woman's ovulating. That's the best time to do it. Come off all the junk food and follow those patterns of nature. Get back to nature, and nature's going to get back to you with a baby.
Fantastic. Dorita?
Lovely. I've got another question for eczema and asthma. I know you sort of covered it earlier, but what's good for eczema and asthma?
Eczema and asthma, they're two conditions that would need to come into the surgery, because very often this diet is based on fungus that you see in the colon, in the form of bacteria and fungi and microorganisms that's antagonistic. And so those individuals need to take probiotics to get good gut flora. It's your second brain, the gut, the colon. Get the gut flora right there. Change your diet. Stop eating out of pans which are made from aluminium, because the aluminium poisoning sets off the skin. Stop eating foods that stale, stays in the pan. You're eating it tomorrow. Chinese food with the monosodium glutamate and all acidic foods will exacerbate eczema. As for asthma, you've got to get rid of the drapes, the carpet, the house dust, and go for blinds and lino or wooden floors, and that will help asthmatics. Of course, the rest of the stuff, you have to come to the surgery for the treatment. I treat asthma and eczema very successfully. In about 2 weeks, the asthma will stop, and in about 5 to 10 days, the eczema will clear.
Brother, advice on what to take if your eyes are extremely dry.
Ooh, wow. First, this is where doctors fail on questions like that. Because first you need to ask, why are your eyes dry? Someone comes to my surgery, I'd look at where they work. If there's a condition they got in the background, if they've got diabetes and that's why their eyes are dry, you need to fix the diabetes. You can't just go for, my eyes are blurry, give me an eye wash, blah, blah, blah. You got to stop eating all them dumplings, cut down the starchy food, then the blurry eyes and glaucoma and all that stuff that comes with diabetes, tingly legs, tingly arms, blurry vision, dry mouth, it will go as soon as you start to adhere to a proper diet.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Jarita, you got 1 minute left there.
But Bilberry,
No, you cut me. You cut me a few times. No. Go on. No, you
Go on, sister. Go on. You're wasting time.
Come on, people. Tell him I need my 10 minutes.
Bilberry would be the tonic to take for the eyes, and you take it orally. Bilberry, don't squirt it in the eyes. You take bilberry. Brother Jamaal sells one of the best bilberries on earth because it doesn't have any, as I said, preservatives. It's pure bilberry for eyes.
Go, Jarita.
I've got a question, about cycles, I guess, and women's problems. So I've got one question about how to reverse or cure endometriosis and also menopausal problems.
Okay, let's say endometriosis. So let's not confuse endometriitis with endometriosis. Endometriosis is far more severe. Endometriitis is just inflammation of the womb, of the endometrium. Endometriosis is where you get these lesions inside the endometrium and also outside. It can spread to your kidneys, can spread to your bladder. And so endometriosis is quite serious. You need to see the patient and see the whole entire status, the diet, the long chain, all the chains of different things happening through their cycle, where they're on the pill and so forth. Have they got fibroids and all that kind of stuff? It will take a good consultation. Endometriosis is a tough disorder to cure. And I say cure because the NHS doesn't cure it, they suppress it. As for menopause, here goes. So menopause is constantly being posed as a disorder. Women, menopause is a God-given gift, and I have, quote, reworded it, men on pause. This is a time where you've had the babies, well, you should have, because your eggs have stopped now. So you had the babies, you've breastfed, you look after the man, the baby them, and now it's your time to start relaxing and getting back to your nature. And so God has given you this like a Sabbath for women called menopause. I reckon they got woman and pause for men as well. It should be called women and pause. But anyway, men on pause, they can stop giving that much attention to all the men and women things that she does as a mother. She can get back some time and point upwards and point our attention to the I am, to where she really belongs.
Brother, you're on fire today. Jarita, I'm gonna, because I love you, sister, I'm gonna give you 1 minute extra. Cha. I'm spoiling you tonight.
All right, what I will do is, there was one question in here that was really about the frequencies. You were talking about, obviously, I am, and that's what your presentation was on today. So Andrew asked, what frequency should we be aiming to vibrate at or connect?
Wow.
That is what a question to end on. I challenge you to answer that question. You're a bad man. I challenge you to answer a question like that.
Wow. Okay, so we're told that in the beginning, the whole of creation was upon the darkness. And they call it chaos at that time. But from that chaos came order. And when there was order, they say they saw a beam of light. And so that beam of light is the first frequency of life. And that's the first frequency of love. Light. That's why they always relate light and love, and light and God, and love and God. They say love is God, light is God. The light side, the dark side, the light side. Light is God and love is God. So love is the highest frequency. But you know, love is a real serious, questionable word. And most people who are in love, who've been in love, they're still confused about what love is. So here goes. When there is love for self, to have love for, like, I am a particle, a divine part of the Most High.
Selector, I challenge you to answer that question, and you just wheel and come again. Wheel and come again. Go on, doctor. Jeez.
Everybody is searching for some kind of frequency that is the best frequency, the code, the numbers, the symbol. But actually, you are the code, you are the symbol, you are the Neo, you are the one. All of us, we are, definitely. And everything in our society is done so much work to convince us that we're not. So when you come to realize you are the one, your frequency is you, the consciousness. So your best frequency is what you are. You don't have to fake something else, adapt to something else, borrow something else, invite something else, invoke something else. You are the invocation. So find your frequency is a sacred heart, which is, your love for self. Not love for your body. You got to love your body. You got to love your mind, but you got to love your origin, the very core of you. You have to spend time with that, have Sabbath with that, have union with that, make love with that.
Jeez.
And then once you start doing that, just like naturally when people have sex, you don't ask them what frequency they need to focus on. The love creates the frequency. So your own soul is that love frequency. You just need to get back home to you.
Rasta man vibrations. Rasta man don't cry. Jeez. Lick shot from Babylon tonight. Brother Doctor.
Vibrations that we send out to get the energy. Come on, Doctor.
Gee, Morris, you felt that connection.
Within me, man.
Morris, you felt that connection, King. Oh, man. Doctor, don't go yet.
I want to mention something very quickly. On Friday on my show, a brother Errol, I say very quickly, a brother Errol, a friend and family, loved member of our dear group of friends. He went into a coma and I didn't know. But on my way to work Thursday morning, while about to have breakfast, I saw a text in our chat room saying that he's in a coma. The shock of it threw me into not despair, but into a place where I need to catch up with him. And he's not dead. He's still here. His frequency is still here. And at that point, I didn't consciously do it because I've done it for so many decades from the age of 18, putting yourself into a state of meditation. So I can do it like that. I didn't even say meditation, just the shock of the horror of my brethren. You know what I did? I started to speak as if he was in the room. Brother Errol, oh, Brother Errol. And then I took the phone and started to text what I wanted to say to him. And in the text, I said, my dear brother, may all the healing angels tend to you at this time and bring you healing, bring you comfort. And then I ended it with the 3 words, ancient words, Om, Tat, Sat. It means it's a covenant, like a seal, like a sacred oath. Like when somebody says, I swear down, like you're taking something that you want to say to God, that I mean this from the bottom, Om, Tat, Sat, like a promise. And I got a phone call the Thursday evening when I got back from work from my brother Stevon, my brethren Stevon, who said that his uncle, the same brother Errol is his uncle, just called him. He came out of the coma and just called him straight after the coma and said, brother, my nephew Stevon, you will never know how much I really love you. You will never know. And started to talk in those endearing ways as we do coming out of a coma. And in the middle of that, he said, oh, and Mark, tell Mark, I said, I felt that. Tell him I said, thank you.
Wow.
I want to say this, this happened. And then while I was talking about it on my show on Friday, Brother Errol called and described the whole thing again, having just come out of the coma 24 hours ago. So we heard it from the actual divine mouth itself. He said he could see my face and so forth. I was praying for him. And here's the point I want to make. Wherever consciousness goes, because that's your soul, permeating your entire body. It's not in a place in the third eye, it's permeating the whole of you. When you put that soul energy and make your consciousness go somewhere, your energy goes to that place. Wherever consciousness goes, energy flows. Why? Because when one atom shakes, the whole universe vibrates.
Oh my God, brother.
So you don't need to pray for people and think you know they're miles and miles away. Cut out space and time and distance. You're in a now time and they're in that now time with you. There's no difference in that time. You're in the hospital and that hospital is in your space at that time. You're sharing that now time. Pray for people like you're sending them a basket of roses, flowers, like it's as real as a punch in the nose. You're selling that love. Like go around them. Just like when you're walking out on the road and you want the right frequency because someone asked that question, that's what they meant. Here's the secret. You know, they put this halo over Jesus and over all the saints. It means your aura. You should put a light, white light that sits on top of your head like a globe, like the sun. Like the Egyptians had this circle on top of the head, they nicked it and made it like a saucer, turned it sideways and made it a halo, meaning saintly behavior. Your aura is your halo. When you go out on the road before you leave your house, turn on your lights. That's your frequency of protection and guidance. That's the frequency they were asking about. Turn on your lights on top of your head so that the light can come into you. That's the one.
Brothers and sisters, you will never, I challenge you, you will never hear a doctor like this. I don't care. You bring that doctor. We got this man on us with us today. Jeez, doctor, don't go nowhere yet, please. Time is up. Time is up. Brother Morris, brother, you started the show off, brother. You made this show history, brother Morris. I'm giving you 30 seconds, brother. You're still over 400 plus odd people. I'm giving you 30 seconds. What's your last words to us tonight, brother Morris?
Last word to you lot.
30 seconds, King.
After the doctor just spoke, in our darkest moments, let's focus on the light. Let's switch that light on like the doctor said. And focus on the light and follow the light, my brothers and sisters. Morris the Connector, I've done speaking for tonight.
Jeez! Man just said it like that. Man just said it like that. Sister Clarion, I'm challenging you 30 seconds, Queen. I'm challenging you. Sister Clarion, time is up, man. Quick. 30 seconds there.
Time and space is not real, just like the brother said. Okay? So we are one. We exist in the same time and space, which is now. So like the brother was saying, when you bring up things from the past, you create those things in the now for you. So create in the now for you the things you want to experience and only the positive things you want to experience because you are God and whatever you create now, you experience now. Don't focus on any other time. Past, future does not exist, only now.
Jeez! Dr. Walcott, what have you started tonight? Doctor, you got the last 30 seconds, King. 30 seconds. What's your marching orders?
Myself?
Yeah, 30 seconds, King.
Okay. Woo! Okay. Wow. You are the architect of your destiny. You are the architect. You are the godling. You are planted in your own soil. You create that with your thoughts and what you do in your life, your activities, your actions. You are the architect, so that means you are always responsible. If you break down the word responsible, it becomes response and able. It means you're always in a powerful position to respond to any situation. Rise like the phoenix out of any fire. Reform and review and reshape and regenerate. And they say remix. And there's a word they use in NLP. It means you're not, the cup is not half full, the cup is always full. It's half water, half air, but make it positive anyhow you can, because you are the architect. If you don't, no one's gonna come and do it. You have that consciousness, you have the power, you utilize it and accept that you're responsible for whatever you create. You're able to create whatever your willpower is. That's why the word response and able. Here's the last words. Therefore, don't give away your power by telling people it's their fault. It's always your fault. If you do that, you take back your power. Don't give away your power by blaming other people. If you blame the white man, you got to go back to him to help you out of your predicament. But if you blame yourself, you'll find a solution, and you'll always hold your power and solve your solutions. Don't give away your power. Don't blame other people. Don't blame nobody. Point it to you. The world
brothers and sisters, you are in tune with Hidden Truth tonight.